issues? This is the Town of Lake Park, Florida Special Call Community Redevelopment Agency meeting for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. The time is now 6:34 p.m. Can we please have the clerk take the roll call?
Commissioner Linden, Board Member Linden. Here. Board Member O'Rourke. Here. Board Member Thomas.
Present.
Vice Chair Henley.
Here.
Chair Mashad.
Here. Can we all please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Man, I love it when we're all in this together. All right. Next, we have the approval of the agenda. If there's any modifications need to be made, please say so now. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? I think she has an aye as well.
Aye.
Okay. The motion passes unanimously. Next, I have public comment. I don't believe I have any public comment cards for this meeting. Okay. Next, we have the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion for consent. Unless there are any.
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Oh, I'll second.
We have first and a second. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the consent passes unanimously. Next, we have CRA administrator comments. No comments from CRA administrator. Executive director. Okay, executive director has no comments. How about any comments from the board itself? Okay, no comments from the board itself. Any agency member requests? Then I will entertain a motion of adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any other further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, that is the quickest meeting I have ever done in 2 minutes. We have a world's record. So, with the calm, and here we go. We're going to go right into it. All right, this is the Town of Lake Park, Florida regular commission meeting for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. The time is now 6:37 p.m. Can we please have the clerk take the roll call?
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Commissioner Linden.
Present.
Commissioner O'Rourke.
Here.
Commissioner Thomas.
Present.
Vice Mayor Hensley.
Here.
Mayor Mashad.
Here. And all the audience are here as well. We will bypass the pledge, and again, I will go to the approval of the agenda. If there's any modifications need be made, please say so now. I believe Commissioner Thomas, you wanted to make a request for reorganizing the agenda.
Yes, I did.
Do you have the specific
Yes.
agenda items in mind?
Yes, I do. In looking at the agenda, what I'd like to do with the consent of the commission would be to move under the special presentations, items 3 and 4 to the end of the consent agenda, because then it would give our residents who are here sufficient time to make comments.
Now, you're saying to the end of consent or to the end of the agenda as a whole?
Well, we could move it all the way to the end of the agenda because this is a very light agenda, thereby giving our residents an opportunity to hear presentations and make comments.
Okay, do we have any objections?
Yes, I'm not in favor of moving item 4, presentation. I think if there's going to be public comment, they should hear what the presentation is before they tear that presentation to pieces.
Okay, but
I think we're not moving the comments. The comments are still
No,
comment.
public
Yeah.
comments will still be there if there's any,
So they're going to hear the presentation first, and then we're going to have public
Correct.
comments after.
That's the
That's
intent.
what we said.
That
yeah.
was my
Okay.
intent.
That's
I'm
correct.
sorry, I misunderstood
yes,
that.
we
then.
have a public comment section, but if the public wish to make public comments on that item, they can do so as well. Okay?
In essence, what I'd like is for the town to dispense of its business and then have the opportunity for the public to hear the presentation and make comments, because we do have a room full. That was the intent.
Okay.
That was mine, too.
Obviously, I'm hearing nothing in objection, so we will do that. Outside of that, is there any other modifications made? If not, I will
Yeah.
entertain a motion. The motion will be to approve the agenda with the movement of items number 3 and 4 to the end of the
2 and
agenda as
3?
a whole. No, it's 3 and 4. The discussion, the Educational Advisory Committee discussion, and the presentation on the P3.
Yes, correct. Those two items.
Those 2 items. The other 2 will stay put as it is.
Okay, so
Okay? So, Commissioner Thomas, do you want to make that motion?
Yes, I make that motion exactly as you worded it.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so items 3 and 4 will go to the end of the agenda. However, we do have 2 proclamations under special presentation report, one for National Vote Early Day for October 28, 2025, and a proclamation for National Friends of the Libraries Week for October 19th to the 25th, 2025. So if we can have the representatives for National Vote Early Day come up. Aha, she's back.
She's here.
Needed that theme song. Miami Vice.
start playing it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me. Hello, hello. We're good? Okay. Welcome again. This is a proclamation declaring October 28, 2025 as National Vote Early Day. Whereas National Vote Early Day, established in 2020, serves as a reminder to voters of the importance and convenience of early voting options. And whereas early voting offers Palm Beach County residents the opportunity to cast their ballots ahead of Election Day, providing greater flexibility and reducing potential barriers to voting. And whereas in the 2024 general election, over 8.1 million Floridians cast their ballots early, accounting for more than 50% of the total votes cast in the state. And whereas Palm Beach County offers multiple early voting locations and extended hours to accommodate the diverse schedules of its residents. And whereas early voting has been shown to increase voter participation, particularly among communities that may face challenges voting on a single day. And whereas by participating in early voting, residents can help alleviate congestion at polling places on Election Day, ensuring a smoother voting experience for all. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Roger Michaud, Mayor of the Town of Lake Park, Florida, do hereby proclaim October 28, 2025 as National Vote Early Day, and encourage all eligible voters in Palm Beach County to take advantage of early voting opportunities to make their voices heard in the upcoming election. In witness thereof, I have here to set my hand and cause the official seal of the Town of Lake Park, Florida, to be affixed on this 22nd day of October 2025. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to say thank you to all of you for this proclamation. On behalf of the Supervisor of Elections Office, October 28th is recognized across the country, encouraging people to consider voting early. We have in Florida 3 equal ways to vote: early voting, vote by mail, and election day voting. For people who like to vote in person, early voting is a really good opportunity because you can vote at any of the locations. And as was mentioned, it was our most popular way to vote in the 2024 election. So we've added 2 additional early voting sites. So you'll have 28 early voting sites to choose from for the 26 elections. And they're good. And Palm Beach County, the only county in the entire country where you can make an appointment for early voting. So if you do choose to go early vote, it's really convenient. You just go online or call our office. We'll make an appointment for you, and you can get in and out in 15 minutes. So it's a great option. So please consider early voting for those of you who like to vote in person and don't want to take the risk that something comes up on election day. So thank you again. Well, that's actually for vote by mail. If you do choose to, if you are a vote by mail person, when you come to the main office, you actually don't even have to get out of your car. We can actually bring it right to the drop box there, secure ballot intake station, and drop it right off. But we do also have early voting location at that facility, which is great. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the next one we will have, I will let Vice Mayor Hensley do because I am a part of this next proclamation, which is for Friends of the Library Week, which I am a member of the Friends of the Library, and if the rest of my fellow members would come up and join me, we will get this proclamation.
Thank you. This proclamation declares October 19th through October 25th, 2025 as National Friends and Librarians Week. Whereas the American Library Association Division United of Librarians create the Nation Friends of Library Week in 2006 to recognize and celebrate the individual contribute of friends groups across the nation. And whereas since founded in National Friends of Library Week, we encourage communities to honor the volunteers who advocate for libraries, raising funds to enhance programming, sponsor cultural events, and promoting general community engagement. And whereas librarians are vital community institutions that provide free access to information, long life learning, and cultural enrichment for people of all ages and backgrounds. And whereas the Friends of the Libraries are dedicated volunteers who generously contribute their time, talent, resources to support, strengthen the library service. And whereas the Friends of the Library, public libraries founded in 1986, have played a vital role in enhancing library service for our community. And whereas the Friends have supported the library throughout providing funds to paint teens and children's rooms, sponsor summer reading programs, and the annual Read for the Record, supply refreshments for art exhibits, receptions, and volunteer countless programs. And whereas National Friends of Libraries Week offer opportunities to recognize and celebrate the countless contributors of those devoted individuals, like yourself, who works tirelessly to enrich our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Michael Hensley, Vice Mayor of the town of Lake Park, Florida, do by hereby proclaim October 19th through October 25 as National Friends of Library Week.
I'm not much of a talker when it comes to this, but I want to thank everybody who participates in our little library here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like, my mind's a million places.
Thank you, everybody who actually participates to our little library here. It's really thankful for that. And I want, more than anything, I want to thank these people around me, because without
can you come here for a second? Okay. All righty, so now that was special presentation and report. Next, I have public comment. I do have several public comment cards for non-agenda items, so we'll go through those here. The rest of these public comment cards are for an agenda item, and we will take care of those when we get to that agenda item. So I will call up first Mr. James Sullivan. And Mr. Sullivan, I know you have 3 public comment cards, but I'm hoping you can get through those within the 3 minutes. And you've been great at doing that, so I am very confident that you will execute that very, very well.
Which one do you want to cover first?
I guess the sidewalk. Would you like to start there?
Oh, that's 4 different items. Yes. There's 4 problems that I want to bring up real fast. First, there's a problem with the sidewalk at the corner of Railroad Avenue and Old Dixie Highway. There's a short stretch there where there is no sidewalk, and I saw a colored lady trying to cross it one time, and she almost spilled over her baby that was in a carriage. 2, I see still a problem sometimes. It's getting better on the traffic coming off of 10th Street onto Park Avenue to go across the track, where when there's a red light, they can go at the stop, but some of them forget about stopping, looking to see whether anything's going, trying to beat people that are going straight or making a turn with green lights. And this should be stopped. Of course, not putting a stop sign there, I recommend completely against that. But putting a sign with just rudiments of what the state law is, so that make them aware. And kids not wearing helmets, riding bicycles, going down the center streets and everything else, somebody's going to get killed. And the parents are going to come out and scream at the driver, who probably will not be at fault. And this has to be avoided. And the other problem is people have been throwing beer cans, bottles, and everything out of the windows of the car, and my wife and I clean them up every morning. Finished to that one.
I'm sorry?
Yes. On that
Okay,
one.
you're all set?
For the next one.
I think it was something about expenses being too high?
About what?
Expenses being too high?
Okay. That was going to take time.
Well, you have less than a minute.
Expenses for long-time residents of this town have gone up tremendously, taxes and insurance. And this is not fair. We should adopt something like they do in some of the agricultural zones in Florida, in Georgia, in Idaho, and a few other states, where they give special exemptions to these people that have at least been there for 7 years, and lower the taxes, but make it so they can't sell without having to pay all the back taxes for 7 years to prevent people buying and flipping, which is a bad practice. for the city. It destabilizes the residents. Okay, I finished with that one.
Okay. Unfortunately, your 3 minutes are
You
going to
got
be
5
up.
seconds,
You got
James,
5
to-
seconds. Well,
Oh,
I don't need it.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this third one goes on the record, so that way we can have that.
The third one deals
Oh,
with,
hold on, Mr. Sullivan. Your 3 minutes are actually up, sir. I'm sorry.
what was his issue?
What was the issue on? Let me ask you that.
it's an issue that I see in the national news, not one necessarily to this town, where I saw something that made me cringe because I know it was untrue. They said, and they showed pictures of 2 drug boats, and they said they were fishermen,
Okay.
the president of Colombia. And I spoke, my
Mayor,
family's been
if
in
you
the
can't-
fishing business.
Sorry.
If I may, James, this is something that you could bring up at another meeting,
Well,
too.
thank you. I
Okay.
was getting ready to say you can also, if you'd like to send us an email on this as well, you can.
Okay, I'll
Okay?
do that.
Thank you.
Thank
All right. Ms. LaFontaine. Thank you, also on this IBAR Commissioner O'Rourke.
Good evening. Dear Commission, I request that you place a vote on the next agenda to approve or deny the enormous density bonus requested by Forest Development's residents at 10th and Park, hopefully to deny that bonus and so expedite their return to the drawing board to create a mixed-use project that helps to beautify our downtown, but also maintains our small-town character while providing attractive urban housing and retail, increasing our downtown foot traffic to further support Lake Park businesses, and increasing our tax base. At the June 13, 2024 Planning and Zoning Board meeting, our Community Development Office recommended approval of the special exception, which would allow that density bonus of 203 dwelling units per acre, which is over 4 times the 48 units designated by the comprehensive plan. But their approval is contradicted by the very town document they cited. To quote the town planner at that meeting, the special exception application was evaluated based on our criteria under 78.184. The special exception criteria are also the basis for which the Town Commission may grant a density bonus above 48 units per acre. Staff finds in favor of the request for 203 units per acre, end quote. The Community Development Office apparently ignored the following provisions of the cited Section 78.184 criteria. B, a special exception shall not be approved unless all of the following criteria are met, including number 4, special exception use does not create a concentration or proliferation of the same or similar type of special exception use, which may be deemed detrimental to the development or redevelopment of the area, and number 6C, that the proposed special exception use would not be a deterrent to the improvement, development, or redevelopment of surrounding properties in accord with existing regulations. If the Commission grants this enormous density bonus to the residents at 10th and Park, how could you then deny it to the Kelsion Park project without risking a lawsuit from them? And granting both projects the huge density bonuses they're requesting would leave less than 400 dwelling units to be shared between the remaining pad property owners, and which, per the special exception criteria, quote, may be deemed detrimental to the development or redevelopment by those other property owners. Also, in the January 31, 2022 site plan review of Kelsion the Park, which at that time was for 17 stories and 720 dwelling units, the community development stated the following, which would still apply to a building only 1 story shorter and with almost 600 units. Quote, the current design does not respect Park Avenue or the residential areas as required by the comprehensive plan. The applicant is maximizing density in a way that is not complementary to the scale and traditional character of the downtown. I'm out of time, but I've included other quotes from that January 31st, 2022 site plan review by the Community Development for your review. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. LaFontaine. Brady Drew. And for the record, Ms. LaFontaine, we do have your submittal. Absolutely.
Good evening. Brady Drew from Sable Palm Drive. I'd like to start by thanking Public Works and the Commission for refinishing the streets on the north end of town. The new pavement is smooth and looks great. I'm here tonight to highlight that this roadway project presents an opportunity to begin implementing the town's mobility plan, and I'd like to advocate that we take full advantage of this. I've been concerned for a long time about the double yellow lines on streets like Palmetto and Crescent. Comparing these streets to those that do not have double yellow lines, speeding cars are a much bigger problem on the streets with center lines. The lines encourage people to park on the grass and the swale instead of on the street to avoid blocking the lanes created by the center line. This lack of obstacles leaves two giant, extra-wide car lanes that encourages drivers to speed. Now, in honor of Friends of the Library Week, I have here a book by Jeff Speck to back me up on this. It's called Walkable City Rules and will be available to check out from the Lake Park Library as soon as I return it.
Thank you for that.
Rule number 71 is remove center lines on neighborhood streets. When a street loses its center line, speeds drop by approximately 7 miles per hour. The City of London repaved 3 two-lane regional roads without center lines and compared driver speeds before and after. The results did not disappoint. Drivers on the reconfigured streets slowed down by about 7 miles per hour on average. Now, in the context of danger to people walking, 7 miles per hour is a huge margin. At the speeds witnessed in this study, around 30 miles per hour, just like we see on Palmetto and Crescent, a 7 mile per hour reduction can cut the risk of death almost in half. It turns out this study was not the first of its kind. There were a couple other studies here that it references, and they conclude that streets without center lines are safer. Now, before coming here tonight, I reached out to town staff and was informed that they consider these streets local collectors that require center lane striping to meet accepted engineering standards. My research of these standards indicates that the traffic control measures taken on local streets involve a great deal of engineering judgment. Now, I'm not a traffic engineer, and to my knowledge, the town does not have any traffic engineers on staff. The good news is you don't have to listen to my library learnings here, as we've already hired experts to develop our mobility plan. The consultants at the mobility workshop a couple years back were aghast that we had neighborhood streets striped like a highway. We lowered the speed limits from 30 miles per hour to 25, but there have been no changes to the roadway that actually encourage drivers to slow down and obey the new speed limit. The mobility plan does not classify these as collectors. Palmetto and Crescent are listed as low-speed streets, a specific designation, and prioritizes them for traffic calming. The plan has 2 options for roadway markings on these low-speed streets, and neither includes a center line. It would be very disheartening for myself and other residents that funded this plan with our tax dollars and spent our Saturday providing feedback at the workshop to see it disregarded in favor of the status quo that prioritizes fast movement of cars at the expense of cyclist, pedestrian, and child safety.
Thank you, Mr. Drew.
Thank you.
Thank you. Linda Ballback?
Hello, I'm new to this, so I just had a question, and I just wanted to know when Magnolia Drive was going to be paved.
Okay, thank you. She is asking when will Magnolia Drive be paved. So let's make sure we, thank you. Richard Polito?
How are you?
Good, sir.
I wanted to speak about the development that's been going on in Lake Park.
If you can, just make sure you talk close to the mic.
Oh,
just so
yeah,
we-
sorry. I wanted to speak about the development in Lake Park by the water and the marina. I own a detailing business in Lake Park on Dixie. I've had it for about 8 years. It's a mobile detailing business also. And, you know, I was under the understanding that as of 2 years ago, there was all these projects that were going to be developed over by the marina, by Nautilus 220, and it just seems like nothing's happening. And I don't really understand what the holdup is. I believe there was a contract and there's an agreement that was signed 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now, and I just don't understand what's going on over there. I'm for the redevelopment, and I'd just like to get some answers as to what the holdup is, because my understanding is there's an agreement, and it just seems like nothing's happening over there. And I'd just like that to move forward if it could.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of the public comment cards for right now. Next, we have the consent agenda. If there is any modification need to be made, please say so now, or if any questions. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion. Commissioner O'Rourke.
Yes, on item 6.
You have a question on it?
No, I want that pulled.
You'd like that pulled. Okay, so item number 6 will be pulled from consent.
And that is an item that one of the speakers had spoken about, so I just wanted to make him aware of that also.
Okay. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, item number 5, I don't want it pulled, but I do want to have some clarification prior to us voting on it, and I was told I could actually have it without having it pulled.
Okay.
Okay, so should I do it now, or are we looking for modification?
Please
Okay.
do so.
We're on consent.
Okay,
I think we have any other modifications? No.
okay.
Commissioner Thomas?
It's not to be pulled, but I just wanted to make note that that particular agenda item is for the design consultant. This deals with the Kelsey Splash Park pad. And I just wanted to be on record that this resolution is only to award a firm to do the design. However, the community will still have an opportunity to make comments
Absolutely.
as it relates to what they would like to see at that site. And so, just for clarification, so no one thinks that, well, this is the architectural design and the town has already decided, I just wanted to make that clear on the record.
Correct. Thank you for that.
Motion to approve the remaining consent agenda items.
With the removal of item number
6.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the consent rules are passed unanimously. We will go ahead and go to item number 6, Resolution 84-1025, interlocal agreement, collection of transportation capacity impact fees from Palm Beach County in 6 months. Commissioner O'Rourke, the floor is yours.
We had a speaker come up there and ask us about how we're handling our mobility fee. Currently, we're in the process of negotiation, my understanding, through Mr. Baird with the county to have a mobility fee that partners basically with the county. I don't think this item is ready for consent, and I would ask that we pull this item so that we have a complete discussion. One of the issues that I have with this is that there are issues going on right now with the county. They still use a concurrency model that uses impact fees. They're in a lawsuit with the town of, the city of Palm Beach Gardens.
Correct.
And Mr. Baird's office is one of the attorneys, the firm that's representing the city of Palm Beach Gardens. I think there may be a conflict with that. That's one of the issues we should look into. And I'm not suggesting any impropriety. That's, as a legal standard, that's something that we should be aware of. And if we want to waive that, I don't know if that's ever happened. The other issue is whether, in fact, we want to create our own mobility fee separate, which is what Palm Beach Gardens did. They ended up in a lawsuit that's still going on. And so it's a very difficult issue, but my concern is by allowing a process that puts the county in charge, which seems to be the direction we're moving, that we give up a lot of our control over the projects, over the fee process and how we collect that, how fees are collected if we do have development projects that would be able to submit fees for mobility plans. That's it.
Town manager, I have a feeling you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, and I know
And Nadia as
Nadia's
well.
been part of the process. And to Commissioner O'Rourke's point, yes, there's concern with the past practice of how we've been collecting. What this item is doing is just extending our current process six months, so that we do not violate or not meet state law. There's a new state law that says by October 1st, there needed to be an agreement with the county. If we don't, then we potentially may lose some of our mobility fees and they would lose some of their fees. This allows us to continue collecting until we're able to negotiate. There are two options basically we're talking to the county about. One is, and you've approved this in your budget, for us to look at and amend our mobility fees to include the county roadways. Right now, we have very limited amount of county projects in our mobility fee study. So the new study that you guys have approved in this year's budget will allow us to incorporate the county fees, and then we would be the sole collector. The county would not collect any longer in the town of Lake Park. The other option is to continue doing what we're doing, but with a new agreement where the difference is than what they have now is that specific projects would be pointed out in the agreement that the county would commit to funding. So that's a lot different than what it is now, because right now their impact fees can go anywhere from here, from down south all the way up north to like Beeline and county line. So we're looking to say, no, those impact fees that are generated here. In fact, we've asked for the projects that have been funded here. Have we gotten those yet? Have we? Not entirely. We haven't. So we want to ensure that the dollars that are earned here through development are spent here.
Correct, and that's what our mobility fee does.
Right. And so that's why this just allows us to continue collecting at 100% for 6 months or up to 6 months. Hopefully we'll do something sooner, but we are working on, Nadia and her staff are already looking at not only the impact fees, but the mobility study update, which will then allow us to make that decision. Do we want to incorporate the county roads into our mobility fee where the county doesn't collect anymore? Or we continue doing what we're doing, but they commit to funding specific projects that you guys are good with. So this is just allowing us to have some extra time to be able to do, to make that choice.
So Mayor, let me clarify this. The Max Lohman, who's the city attorney of Palm Beach Gardens, has been working with Lainey Francisco in my office. The reason why this is on an agenda is Max circulated to the cities a memo that said, because we can't resolve this issue with the county now, let's put a stopgap in place for 6 months to keep the status quo while we continue to work towards, on the municipal front, something that the municipalities believe will work for them. So in that sense, I don't have a conflict. I'm actually aligned with Lake Park. Palm Beach Gardens and Lake Park are aligned. We've been working, my office, not me directly, but my office has been working very closely with Max Lohman, the city attorney, and also Ron Ferris, the city manager of Gardens. So this is just keeping the status quo, and hopefully we'll develop something as we continue to work towards something that is more along the lines of what the manager is describing, that's more fair to municipalities.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
May I, Tom, I want to ask
Commissioner
a
O'Rourke.
question about, not about any possible conflict. I understand, I accept your explanation for that. The county is proposing, I think through Mayor Marino now, to go to their own mobility fee. So would that impact us? That's the first question. The second one is, you said this is a stopgap. There was an October 1 deadline from the state. Does that move that deadline back by agreement? I'm guessing.
The deadline was to adopt an interlocal agreement by October 1.
Okay.
So this meets that statutory deadline because it keeps in place the interlocal agreement that exists.
Okay.
And then I forgot the first part of your question, but it was...
The county is going to a mobility fee.
Yes. So under state law, you can have either an impact fee or a mobility fee. So what the county is talking about doing is essentially converting their impact fee to a mobility fee. Now, whether that's going to happen, we don't know, and we all know it takes the county a long time to study things.
Very, very long time.
I will just nod my head to that statement.
Last comment, if I may.
Commissioner Rourke.
Brady Drew pointed out a very good book, Walkable Towns by Jeff Speck. There's another book on this topic of where they would talk about mobility fees and the change from impact fees to mobility fees, which is a newer way of doing it. The state legislature feels that's probably a better way to approach getting fees from development. And the book is called Smart Towns. So,
Yeah, a good book.
okay.
Okay.
Go for that one.
Any other questions for
That's it.
staff?
Thank you.
From anybody else? Okay, if not, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Resolution 841025.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have first and a second. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the resolution passes unanimously. I have nothing on ordinance on first reading, however, and nothing on ordinance on second reading. However, I have under new business Resolution 851025, the proposed North Lake Promenade out parcel site plan. I believe we have Mr. Anders Vane coming up. Sir?
Good evening, Commissioners. Just going to wait a moment here for my PowerPoint to pull up. Thank you. No worries. All right, good evening, Commission. I'm Anders Vian, Town Planner. Tonight, I'll be taking you through the site plan for North Lake Promenade out parcel. This is located in your C3 district, which is your Twin Cities mixed-use district, being brought forward by Schmidt-Nichols. This is a under 1 acre parcel that is being proposed to have a retail use. It's a 7,578 square foot retail use. And of note with this project, this is a spec development, so the applicant does not know yet who their anticipated end users are, but we have gone over the relevant criteria of the district with them, and it will be something that is a permitted use when it comes in a retail use. There may be up to 6 end users, 8 or 6. It'll just depend on how the space is apportioned, but it will be adequately parked for whatever comes in based on the retail category. So let's see here. So this is the subject site. This is located north of the public's property. This is our last vacant out parcel in the former Twin Cities Mall site. This is, again, in our Twin Cities C3 mixed-use district. It's also covered by the North Lake Promenade, or sorry, the North Lake Boulevard overlay zone, which is that hatched area that you see. And then across the street, we have North Palm Beach jurisdiction, CNB, which is their, as I gather, their commercial North Lake Boulevard overlay specific zoning district. I put a little inset of it in the top right-hand corner here. Let's see. The future land use in this area is Twin Cities mixed use. Again, in North Palm, they have a different coding, so they use commercial on their side of the street. So here is the site plan. Of note with this, there were 2 changes from the Planning and Zoning Board hearing. These being, firstly, that one of the members suggested and the applicant implemented an additional ADA parking space in front of the storefront on the south side, bringing the total to 3, so that's 1 above requirement. And additionally, they also provided decorative pavers that are consistent with the North Lake Promenade apartment project. This will hopefully help slow down traffic entering in this street here, this internal roadway. Of note, in the C3 district, we have a streets regulating plan that basically institutes the existing internal roadways and suggests a couple new connections. So this is how the street network within the district is handled. It ensures there's adequate access between these sites internal within the development and not out on North Lake, so you can get to where you need to go around the internal roadway system. Let's see. So as always, this is approved, or sorry, North Palm actually wanted me to say that they didn't approve it, that they just had no further comment. But it's approved by our reviewers, including traffic concurrency, landscape architecture, civil, water sewer, Seacoast Utility, Palm Beach County Fire, and Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Crime Prevention through environmental design. And of course, North Palm also reviewed it as part of our intergovernmental coordination with them in this district specifically, where we sit as a joint planning and zoning board for the first planning and zoning hearing. So as I said, that meeting has taken place, and the board at that time recommended approval. We are also recommending approval with all standard conditions. I will note the one unique condition was pertaining to a sidewalk easement. That's a requirement of the C3 district. Basically, it would expand the sidewalk along North Lake. So the applicant is providing, I think, something like 7 inches to bring the sidewalk up to the district standard. They've actually already recorded this easement. It's been reviewed by the town attorney, so this condition is kind of irrelevant. But it is, it was in here as of the time we submitted it. With that, if you don't have any questions, I will turn it over to the applicant for their presentation.
Actually, let's go ahead and have the applicant present, and then after that, we'll ask questions to either or both of you. Okay.
Good evening, John Schmidt, agent for the applicant. Thanks for your consideration this evening. I do just have a short PowerPoint slides for you to review, and I'll take you through those pretty quickly. Thank you. So Resolution 85-10-25, we do have our full development team here, which are civil engineer and architects. So if we have questions for them, feel free to go ahead and ask away. But just 8 slides to walk through here. Anders did a great job of already taking us through here, but the project highlighted in blue here, the site, 0.85 acres, the future land use, again, Twin Cities mixed use, zoning C3, and it's a vacant property. And then they're highlighted in yellow are the 276 units that are the multifamily that's under construction right now. So this is great walkability and a good sister use here. Again, here's a blow up of the site, kind of zooming in, vacant, and the zoning considerations that we just walked through. There's a Wendy's directly to our east. North Lake Boulevard is up on the screen. Just the mapping of the Twin Cities mixed use and the C3 zoning districts. This is a colored site plan. So there's been a lot of previous applications that have tried to go on this property, and what we tried to do was anchor the building towards North Lake Boulevard, not have circulation completely around there, hiding the parking on the backside, and doing a nice job of architectural forward. So 7,500 square foot retail, 23 spaces are required. 34 spaces actually are on the plan now because we had lost one to provide the additional handicap space that Anders recommended, or Anders spoke about and recommending from the Planning and Zoning Board. We have vehicular access from the internal roadway system. So you all started studies with Dewaney years ago, and the city worked adopting with Village of North Palm Beach an overall circulation plan. So this is an internal roadway system. We've got a pedestrian connection for those 276 residential units that are going to be accessing out here and not having to put trips on the roadway. We've provided cross access. So there's about a 4-foot grade change from the sidewalk on North Lake Boulevard up to our site. So we provided a pedestrian plaza up at grade that connects us to the neighboring property, the Wendy's right now, to their sidewalk and any future connection. We also have the connections that wrap around the other two sides and the easements that we've provided, highlighted in blue. So the 10-foot along the west, the sidewalk on the south and north. Here's an overall review of what's going on. The 276 units are subject site. The proposed multifamily building up there on the right and under construction. You'll find the architecture here. So this would be a view from North Lake Boulevard. So a very nice architecture and is compatible with the Publix that's going on as well as the multifamily. And then this would be a view of the architecture from the internal parking lot. We did receive unanimous joint approval from the planning board. The areas that we changed were providing 3 handicap spaces there, and then also putting decorative crosswalks, which had a visual change as well as textural change, and it's going to match the multifamily in the area. So they wanted to make sure that that was highly visible to make sure pedestrians were taken care of. We meet the standards of the code. We've been the full recommendation of the planning board, and here to answer any questions you may have tonight, and hope we get your support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. I will open the floor now to the dais. Do you have any questions for the applicant or staff?
No questions.
No questions? No questions over here?
Go ahead. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Yes, I do.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes, great. I do have some questions, John, and thank you for putting up that illustration right here. Mm-hmm. As I look at the project, and this is a spec building, we have Wendy's to its immediate east, and I look at the driveway that is adjacent to this parcel, and I'm thinking that it's about 34 feet between the two driveways, okay? Mm-hmm. Between where Wendy's is and where this new project is. My thoughts would be that we would want to have some type of cross-access easement between the two parcels. I'm thinking if I'm driving, I have to drive out of Wendy's in order to go 34 feet to go back into this particular business, whatever it may be, to drive out again. I have like 4 egresses within a 200-foot, I'm not sure if that's correct, area. I would say for a fact that, and I would hope that this staff would actually have looked at this, would be to look at what Wendy's west parking lot is, which is adjacent to your east parking lot, and could have made a cross-access agreement with that. Why do I say that? I visit Wendy's a great bit. Their east parking lot is hardly ever used. Their west parking lot is hardly ever used. And so when I look at connectivity, as well as the fact that we're having 276 units that's being built there, the idea is to encourage pedestrian traffic. This is only encouraging vehicle traffic. One, I also walk that area quite a bit before the construction. With the exception of what you're putting in right now, there aren't any sidewalks that is along that access road there. Nothing on Halifax. The residential would be putting in, but then yours would be the only other project there. I think it would be important when we have new development like this that's going to upend that whole area, that we look at projects that are there and coordinate it with new projects that are coming, so that it really creates a usable, walkable community. And right now, as the way I look at it, I think that much could be done, considering that you don't have a buyer or a business that's going in here, in my opinion, I think that it can be reworked. Not that I don't like this, but I think that when we look at a lot of other communities, there's more cross-access easement. It is very difficult to come out of one business, go 34 feet in order to go into another business, to turn back around and go out. That's just too much. You're going to be having quite a bit of, in my opinion, I would hope, more pedestrian traffic, and that is what I want to encourage. I don't want to encourage the people that's going to be at Avalon to get into their car in order to move about. And I just kind of like think that more could be done with the way we would do traffic circulation in that area. That's my opinion on that.
If I may can I try to address that?
Please, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure you get close to the mic.
I'm sorry. So I understand your concern, and let me kind of walk you through what we did. I think they did a tremendous job starting this pedestrian circulation. So we actually have 3 points of circulation that we have to improve. We have to improve the sidewalk along North Lake Boulevard. We've got to go add a foot so it meets the standards. So that's one along North Lake, and that's at grade. That's at the street grade. There's a secondary one that's now 4 feet in the air, and I'm sorry that this pointer won't highlight on here. So can I use the mouse if you don't mind if I kind of approach over here when I talk through this?
As long as you can give, is there a mic we can give him so that way he's still on?
Can you point right here for me? That'll bring it. There you go.
Oh, Vivian.
There you go. So that's perfect. So we not only did we place a sidewalk there, we actually put a plaza in here that has a resting space, shade area, trellis, and all kinds of landscaping. The landscaping on this is over $150,000. So there's a connection right there at grade that leads to the sidewalk that's right along the front of Wendy's. We also have the one that goes along the internal roadway for a pedestrian connection to its future, right? The access that you're talking about within 34 feet is not an entrance that you can go into. It's only an exit.
Correct.
The circulation is on the exit, so we couldn't leave ours and go into theirs. We'd have to leave ours. You couldn't make that direct turn. You'd have to go down another.
That's the reason why I said with staff should have worked with Wendy's, because that whole area, as you look at it right now, your property on that north side is the only side that actually have sidewalk. It will only have sidewalk, and so I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, fine, that means at this point, the only thing that I can do is actually walk to your project and walk back without getting hit by a car.
No, you could actually walk through our project, through the plaza, through our plaza. And
in the driving, in the parking lot.
Across the parking lot to their sidewalk along the front.
I'm going to go on North Lake in order, this is not, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying, as I'm looking at it, because I actually work and walk that area. I'm not looking at it from a position of this is a illustration. Mm-hmm. I know that area, so I know what I'm talking about in that particular area, okay? And I know how to navigate in that particular area. And right now, the only thing that's there and that will be there would be the sidewalk that's on Avalon, and then you will crisscross in order to do your decorative your decorative sidewalks, your pedestrian area to go to that business. I am saying as part of staff, so this is not just a point on you, I'm talking about the way staff looked at this whole entire project, would be that here, as we look at this, let's look at these other businesses that we can incorporate and make some of those improvements, because we have a brand new project that's coming beside us. This is where I'm at with it. Okay, and it's not that I dislike it, because I did say that. It's a really nice project. Yes, there's a lot of viewpoints that's being given on North Lake, but I would tell you, I know there's not a lot of people that walk on North Lake. North Lake is a suicide zone, okay? You don't, especially in front of that, especially in front of where we are right now. I would say that once Avalon is in there, they'll put a traffic light there. But that's a suicide zone. No one actually walks on North Lake, because I know I walk on North Lake, okay? So I'm very familiar with that area is what I'm saying. With that being said, thank you for the project. I just would have made a lot better comments within the circulation of where we are, because I just feel that the town is going to be facing quite a bit when we talk about traffic in and out and pedestrian traffic. That's where we are.
Understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for the presentation. what you did. I kind of had the same concern. You kind of pointed out to me, Miles, more about the walking for pedestrians. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for taking a recommendation of the planning and zoning of putting the accessibility parking for another in there and the pavements, because that was my biggest concern. I don't think I possibly could have supported the project without those things there. I did have a concern about going, like Commissioner Thomas said, back and forth, but I see that you have, or you guys work with Avalon a little bit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it's kind of, I was going to say like, how to get to Wendy's and back and forth, but you got the concept of Avalon Derail, the little easements, which you pointed out. So I was like, oh, that's the kind of way I take when I go over that way. So I understand that. So that was going to be my question on how to get there, but you kind of answered for me. But thank you for the presentation.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to take what Commissioner Thomas said and ask you, Anders, what are your thoughts on that in terms of what Commissioner Thomas said?
Well, I think the comments are well received. I appreciate them. And my thought on it is that this is something we could possibly secure during the building permit phase if the applicant is open to exploring a cross and joint access agreement with Wendy's. As you pointed out, Wendy's does not have currently the sidewalk in place along the internal street on the south side. I think our thoughts on it were that when that property next comes in for renovation, that they would install a sidewalk and we would try to make that connection happen. Wendy's actually did come in for a renovation back in 2024. And as part of that, they improved some of their crosswalks and landscaping on the site. They added another access on North Lake, but they didn't create the internal sidewalk access. So I think, it would certainly be something we can explore. I can't speak for the applicant on it, but we would ask that they look at that possibility for a cross and joint access.
Okay. Thank you for that. Commissioner Linden?
No question.
Okay. If there aren't any other questions, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution 85-1025 with the recommended conditions of approval from planning and zoning.
Okay. Do we have a second?
You made a motion to approve it with what change?
The easement and the things that planning and zoning was approved, which was
The resolution contains all of the conditions that are
Correct.
be-
So it's
that are
pretty
being
much
discussed.
you're approving
so-
just the resolution
Yes.
as it stands.
As it stands?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any other further discussion? I apologize for just, seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, resolution passes unanimously.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll be going back to the two items that were reorganized. Once I get my, the first one is the discussion on the Educational Advisory Committee with the Town of Lake Park Library. Commissioner Thomas, I'm going to let you begin on this one. Actually, Commissioner Thomas as well as Judy Cooper, our library director. Ms. Cooper?
Good afternoon, or good evening. I'm Judy Cooper, the library director for the Lake Park Public Library. Commissioner Thomas had requested...
Just make sure you're talking that mic so everybody can hear you.
Commissioner Thomas had requested that we look into the start of an educational advisory board to help coordinate educational activities within the town for the children and anybody else. So we went back in there, and there was a prior educational advisory board, and we're looking to see whether or not you guys want to restart it.
I would say, since this was an agenda request that I made, I want to say that I would love for us to restart it. There are some changes in here that I'd like to see. One, I don't think that we need like 12 members of the board.
No.
There was large numbers that were involved here. I do believe that we should have, instead of having an annual update, maybe we can have like a quarterly update from the member or the chair that's on that board on what's going on as they attend like the SAC meetings that's there. The reason why I'd like for this to happen is at one point, our elementary school was an A. We have now drifted down to a C. Our feeder school was bordering at a D, okay? And then we go to the high school. So unless we start some type of foundational structure of helping our students with their math and reading skills, then no matter how we build our beautiful town, we won't have students that will go to our local schools. And the point is to encourage our students to enjoy reading, to enjoy math, and to see what we as residents, myself as an educator, what we could do in order to help those skills. I do know that we have tutorial programs, which I was instrumental in bringing to the library. However, I think that there's more of a push, and I think that is because we don't really have a liaison between what's happening at each of those grade levels within our community, whether it's a public or a chartered school here, on what their needs are, what it is that they see that we as a town could assist, whether it is with funding resources or volunteer service or whatever. But how do we get their levels, their skills up, and also to maintain that? And so that would be the purpose of it. It is not for ideological training. There's nothing like that. We will be working on whatever information that will be coming back from the schools, and that is how we work with it. That's what SAC is all about, and that would be the reason why the members that are on that board would do. We have a lot of educators in our community, retired and active educators that are in our community that could provide assistance and provide information back. And so that would be the intent of this educational board, advisory board.
Okay. Any other comments from that? Commissioner Linden.
We already have a library board. What is their function?
The library board advises the library as to what the community is looking for in the way of programming, materials ordered, services rendered, and so forth.
How active is that board?
Right now, they're meeting twice a year. This is the second meeting that we've had. 4 times a year? This is the fourth one. This is the fourth meeting since COVID, I believe. No, when?
The board, according to our town code, meets twice a year. This particular year, Judy has had the board meet several times as they went through a series of changing the programming that they wanted in the library to what would be more effective for what the community needed and wanted. And so the board was brought forward much more often. They are meeting tomorrow night as the fourth meeting this year.
Since we have to form the board, has to be recorded and so forth, because it's a board meeting, would it be to our advantage to add that to it or change that definition of the library board and incorporate both so there's less strain on time to be in here, videoing it, taking notes and so forth?
Well, the boards would be comprised differently. The library board is just made out of citizens. We have 5 regular members with 2 alternates, and it's taken a while to get that many people. The educational advisory board would probably be a lot more specialized. We'd want a teacher on there, probably more than one. We want somebody from the Lake Park Public Library staff and somebody maybe from a nonprofit and so forth. So we'd want a different mixture of people to do the Educational Advisory Board as opposed to the Library Board.
All right, thank you. Makes good sense.
Okay. Commissioner O'Rourke.
Yes, thank you. I don't think this is a good idea. We have a SAC committee that's part of every school. If there are needs for our school to improve, people should work through the SAC committee. We also have Friends of the Library. If you create an advisory board, you now subject people to the restrictions of sunshine laws, and most of all, I object to it because the school district is the one that's in charge of this. They have a budget, and they just got a budget of $5.9 billion. That's a billion. And they're going to put this now, this is going to create a process where we're now involved in basically taking away obligations that they have. If the grade of our school has gone down, and it's gone down from an A to a lower score now, the school board should be doing something about that. And we as citizens should call the school board and say, what's going on? We don't have to create our own little bureaucracy of a mini school district in our town. We don't need to do that. We need to put some pressure on the school district to improve the grades in our elementary school in particular, and to do something about the other feeder schools that we have from middle school and high school. So that's my position, and I just wanted to voice that. Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
I'm not going to talk about the school district too much because I'll be sitting in a meeting tomorrow about cutting the budget. However, I did talk to a couple of our feeder schools and Dr. Castro about this committee, and all they ask, if it's the committee is formed, if they can have a principal on the committee. That's Palm Beach Gardens, H.L. Watkins, and Lake Park.
So basically from our zone there.
From our zone, our feeder, where our kids come at, just to get some support with the town and them help support the town by implementing more programs at the library. I was about to say media center, but library.
So by them stating that, that means they're in support.
They're in support. All three from I met with all three of them this week and last week, and they're all in support of it. If the commission see that they have a principal on and they do want to give quarterly updates of what's going on in their schools. So.
Okay, Commissioner Thomas.
I do want to say that this is not an unusual board. Other communities have boards just like this. In fact, I served at a school that actually have a educational board, and a member of that from the local government attends the SAC meetings in order to report back how those SAC dollars are, so that the community actually knows and the taxpayers know how those funds are being used in their local schools. It's being an educator is difficult enough when we're just trying to teach just common skills. You would be surprised the number of students who do not know how to read an analog clock. They do not know how to read an analog clock. They do not know their multiplication because they don't have to know their multiplication. They get calculators. These are just basic skills I'm talking about. We don't have parents like we had in the days back. Why? Because mom and dad have to work. And we're in a community where mom, dad, grandpa, they all working. So the students are really left to come to these programs on their own to try to figure it out. Over the years, myself, I've contributed by having summer reading programs and books available for our students. And I'm even trying right now and hoping that through our education board, we can even do a book club, because we realized that we weren't maybe even able to do it through the Friends of the Library. But again, to try and engage a community like ours. We have little libraries that are on each of the blocks in our community. Why do we have them? In order for them to look like pretty doll houses? No, it is to try to encourage our community to get involved. How do they get involved? It's in a manner like this. Here, I can go, I can see what was stated, what's happening. I would love to attend all of the school board meetings. Unfortunately, they sometimes conflict. We're either like working when they're having their meetings, etc. And so I just feel that having this as an opportunity, and especially if we have schools that are out there, and I would say that I have spoken to 3 of the local schools here in our town whose principals are very interested in being a part of this and providing to our town the needs. And those needs aren't always financial, let be known. It's really, the needs are really manpower. Are you out there? Are you visible? You know, can we help you in some way? Having said that, there are some changes to the ordinance that I would like, to go through, but as you stated tonight, it was just for discussion.
I would say, if you can, as Vice Mayor gave a good tidbit about how these 3 schools principals are actually expressed interest in this board, to contact them and gauge their thoughts on this. That gives you a good baseline for knowing, because that would be 3 direct members that affect our community, because they're all zoned in our specific town. So I would start with them, as well as look to reach out to us on any input we may have in terms of the ordinance itself. Of course, one is the amount of members does not need to be that many. Yeah, no. As well as what nonprofit would want to be involved. In fact, you had a nonprofit here tonight. I think that would be a good conduit to that board as well. And I agree with Commissioner Thomas. We do have active and retired teachers in this town. As a matter of fact, I have on my block 3 or 4, and that's including my own household. Because, of course, my other half is an educator as well. Works closely with one. So I would say.
I just wanted to say one more thing.
Okay.
We did have our local school, H.L. Watkins, a representative, come here almost a year and a half ago, specifically asking for our assistance. And they didn't know in what manner to ask and how to go about doing it. I tried a number of times. I believe in even the assistant library director have been in contact with them, but how nice it would be if they knew that they had an entity that they can talk to about what their needs are. So I just wanted to say that we did have some.
I understand that, what you're saying.
Yeah.
We did have somebody from H.L. Watkins that reached out to us directly right here in the meeting, and it was basically a plea for help. And so it's our job as a town, parents, dais members, and staff to adhere to our future, and our future is those children. Because for me, one of the biggest disappointments that happen to these children is right here in my hand. That's all. It gets to the point now where they don't even talk to each other unless it's through this, and they're in the same room. Or if they don't want mom and dad to hear what they're saying. And that is a disappointment to some extent. So if there's a way we can go back to the narrative, to go back to the beginning, where we could actually sit here as people and conversate without the use of this, I'm all for it. And I could chat GBT that too. So I would say start with the principals, gather up some intel. Again, this is not an adoption. This is just basically feedback on direction. So that would be a good starting point for you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. And finally, we have our presentation of the Marina P3 project quarterly update from Forest Development. And do we have our members of Forest Development here?
You want to be the Anna for me? Oh, great. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you very much for this time this evening. My name is Larry Zabik, and I'm representing Forest Development in our partnership for the P3 agreement for redevelopment of the Lake Park Harbor Marina. This is our quarterly report. Let's see if I get this right. This is just a summary of where we've completed to date. The comprehensive agreement was approved in August of 2023. We approved the 4 leases in 2024. We are currently working on comments that we received a couple of weeks ago on the PUD and the site plans, and we're working closely. We expect to be back to your staff with our responses in areas that we do see for discussion in the next few weeks. The state of Florida reverter issue is on hold, pending your decision a couple of months ago, and we're anxious to get that moving forward. I think probably key to that will be the revisions that the town has suggested they want to consider for the comprehensive agreement, and we're anxiously awaiting those. We have retained on the reverter the services of Bridgewater Strategies, and they are very helpful in getting us to the governor and cabinet's agenda since they are directly connected in with DEP, and they're available, and we work closely with staff on using them effectively. This is just an update on the PUD and site plans. On the public marina and restaurant component, the town had submitted permits for DEP and for the Corps of Engineers. We received an email this afternoon I was copied on and was addressed to the manager that we'll address over the next few days, where there's some concerns with one of the permits expiring, and we'll work with staff to see what we can do to keep that permit alive. It may result in having to resubmit that permit, and we'll have to dig into it a little bit more, but that came in about, 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. And then I have a few updates on some of the renderings, and again, these are just concept plans, but we wanted to share them with you. This is looking at the hotel and the activity deck from east to west. This is the front of the hotel. This is the restaurant on the peninsula. Restaurant on the peninsula. Restaurant on the peninsula, and then a large marina overview. And with that, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, I'm happy to entertain any questions.
For any questions, Town Attorney, do you have anything to add on this on your end? Okay, just want to make sure. Town Manager, anything before we ask any questions? No? Okay. Do we have any questions on the dais?
I'm going to jump out because I have a question.
Hensley?
Question myself, not to get into. With the rooftop there.
Yes.
To enter, I just want to get some clarification. To enter the rooftop, you have to go through the hotel?
No. There's stairwells that can be accessed from outside, public access.
It's on the outside
From
of
the
it?
sidewalk, yes.
Town Manager.
One of the things that we've been speaking with the developer regarding, although you see renderings and plans, one of the things that we've been requesting and they've been willing is to have a meeting with you all to ensure that the uses and the plans for the project meet what you all are looking for, and to do that in a public meeting. We've not done that, since the agreement's been approved. And so that's something that has been talked about, and the date has not been set because we're in the process of working on the comprehensive agreement, as you're aware. The comprehensive agreement, we've been asked to put that in writing, our proposed changes, so we're working on that with the attorney. We're also working with a financial group that has valued marinas and surrounding properties of marinas. We had a conversation with them. Barbara, was that today? I can't even remember. And we'll be bringing that hopefully forward to you so that for an agreement, hopefully we'll be able to piggyback off of another competitively selected contract with another community. But they've worked with a number of communities throughout the state to provide us with an understanding of the long-term financial requests that we would make on any changes within the comprehensive agreement. And, you know, some of the areas that we've talked about with the developer with regards to the comprehensive agreement are, of course, the ground lease terms, the long-term financial viability of the project back to the town, the PUD and site plan meeting with you all to incorporate what you all, you know, in the community would like to see in these projects, as well as the management and maintenance agreements for 3 different areas: the rights of way, the public open space, and of course the marina. So those are the main areas. And while we're going through the process, we're looking at the entire agreement to ensure that the town is fully represented within the agreement and making those amendments as needed. Of course, we'll present those to the developers, as Mr. Zabik referenced early in his presentation. As soon as we're done with it, we work on it, pretty often. It's a lot, but we're committed to doing that. I will tell you, I had a very productive conversation with the developer the other day, and I'm very hopeful that we're able to move forward on a number of the changes, or at least have dialogue on the number of the changes. I think it was a positive. So just wanted to give you an update on where we stand with those amendments.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor?
Question for you. So we do have a pretty much of a planner kind of going to help us out with the financials and coming up with the planning of the P3 on the town, for the town side.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's so sophisticated and there's a lot of complexity to, if you're looking at 100 years, you're looking at 50 years, you're looking at 30 years, whatever it is, and there are financing issues, through these types of projects that the developer is going to have to, meet. So to bring in somebody and look at those long-term commitments, or requirements, back to the town is going to be significant, so we need to do that. I will tell you, one of the things that the developer has mentioned to me, and Larry, I hope it's okay to say this. You don't know what I'm going to say. Hope it's okay. Is, one of the concerns that we have as staff is, of course, where property taxes go in the long term. The developer has made this commitment to us on a number.
Correct. Absolutely.
You know where I'm going with it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Has made the commitment that if property taxes do go away, that they would commit that in our new agreement or a revised agreement, that property taxes, whatever they would be if they go away, would be paid to the town, and hopefully that would be compounded or increased based on valuation increases. But again,
So
we're looking.
That acts as more of a contingency.
That's as a contingency if there are changes to whatever the legislature does. Of course, we're looking at additional, dollars and, above what we have committed in the agreement today. And that's where the consultant will assist us.
Okay.
I guess one more question. So if, now for the residents, they will probably want to know this question too. When we get that information, they will be informed to have an input on kind of like when you say they want to ask us questions, they will be informed to be able to participate and maybe be able to have some input on, like comments about.
Well, that's mostly.
I think it, the report that we're going to get is probably it's going to be like an appraisal type thing. So I don't know, where the upfront input would come from, but certainly when it's presented to you all, absolutely.
Yeah, they'll come in as an agenda item, of course.
Yes, sir.
We'll deliberate, we'll talk about it. They'll be able to make comments at that
Yes,
time
sir.
as public comment, so.
But we are being very comprehensive throughout the entire agreement, including all the schedules and attachments, particularly the critical path for the timeline.
Actually, I think Commissioner O'Rourke wanted to say something first, and then I'll get with you, Commissioner Linden. Commissioner O'Rourke?
Yes, thank you. There's been some delays with regard to the reverter clause, and my understanding that delay has now moved toward next year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So any funds that would have come from that reverter do not come this year. That's right. That's correct, right?
That's correct.
Okay. But as part of that process, the barge was moved and the boat clubs were moved, right? Okay. So is there any boat club down at the marina now?
Yes, in the non-impacted or non-deed restricted areas, there are a much smaller number, but there are some of the boat club boats there.
Okay. And they're using slips that people had requested for that opened up because there's new areas opened up, right?
Right, there's a number of, and I think we put this in the weekly update to you all, a list of by size, how many boat slips are open. And what our staff is doing is contacting everyone on our list. Also, there were ancillary lists that were provided to us by the developer. So we're contacting all of the folks that are on the list, on both of the lists. And I have Jason here.
He's here.
So Jason can communicate. And what we're doing is we're giving everyone an opportunity to say yes or no. And Jason, go ahead.
Good evening, Jason Tenney, Marina Director. Yes, we are currently working the wait list aggressively to get all the slips backfilled. I anticipate we'll have them done in November.
How was Jet Ride selected over the other boat club?
Well, we gave 8 of the 15 slips to Freedom Boat Club, and we gave 7 of the 15 boat slips to Jet Ride.
Okay.
So they're both still there. They're both operating in the non-deed restricted area.
And just for transparency of it all, they're operating under the same lease agreement, 1-year lease agreement, as all other folks within the marina. So
including the
at this point,
dive
we don't have
boats.
any separate agreements for anybody. It's the same thing as the scuba folks or for a regular,
Yes, a private boater.
Private boat.
Yep.
Yeah, I've gone by there on the weekends and I've seen them operating very well, actually. So.
No further questions.
Okay, Commissioner Linden.
Thank you. We'll get this right yet. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
If you looked in your crystal ball, this projected meeting with the residents this year, next year, I know you said staff's working on it vigorously, but your best guesstimate, when would that type of a meeting happen? Because included with that, I'm sure, would be a presentation. So.
The meeting that with the financial consultant or the one that the developer?
The one you mentioned so the public can hear where we're at, where we're going.
That was for when we would receive the report from the financial consultant.
Okay.
We spoke with them today. We provided them with some additional information regarding, what the agreements, the things that they felt were necessary to start the process. Of course, we still need to bring them back to you all for approval for a contract, for an agreement. So we're hopeful that that will come sometime in November to do that, and then they'll start their work. But they're already doing their research now to kind of have an understanding of what that price would be.
And we paid them as a consultant to do this?
We will, following approval from you all, we will pay them as a consultant, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Thomas, you have any questions?
I do have questions, but I'm going to wait until after public comment with this.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioners.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to go to public comment. Before I begin, I'm going to reiterate that public comment is 3 minutes. If you would please not make any outbursts or any comments while the person is speaking, because we like to have them speak on the record for what they have to say within their allowed time. I'd like to be respectful of that person. And then after that, I will go through each one individually. So if you would be so kindly to allow that person to speak, and whoever comes up, please go to the mic, because that mic seems to be shifting a lot, so that way we can hear you clearly. Okay? With that, I will call first Teron Mercer.
Hello, my name is Teron Mercer. My wife and I purchased a condo at the Nautilus 220. Now, we've been renting a boat slip at the Nautilus at the Lake Park Marina since last year. Now, I'm going to start by saying that good things happen to good people because we care. We chose the marina because of the location of Nautilus. We were also aware of the agreement that the town was in the pending renovation that they had. Now, from the drawings that we have seen and what we've been told, we could not be more happy and excited for what the Nautilus and the update that the marina is offering, but feels that everyone should be excited for what they are both about to have in this town. The 2 restaurants, the common area, the extra parking, the jobs, and the extra tax revenue for the city. Now, I'll be the first to say that I was disappointed and frustrated with the project that is behind schedule with construction. And many of you in this room have heard a lot of bad things about, bad rumors about Nautilus and forest development, and even Peter. So a few weeks ago, I decided to call Peter myself and ask for a meeting. Much to my surprise, he said yes. Now, I can't tell you how I owe him my sincere apology publicly. Sometimes you can judge the book by the cover, and I did. Now, after that meeting, and asking him all the questions that I had to ask him, and better understanding his compassion for this project, and his compassion for the city of Lake Park, and the difficult and frustration that he had for building this building. I was also able to hear his new visions and other projects that he chose to do with Lake Park instead of West Palm and Riviera Beach. I have to tell you, if you haven't walked this project, you should do so at night. It's beautiful, and I hope that you guys would be able to communicate and come out.
Thank you, sir.
Without a delay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Steinhauer, And for the record, I have distributed, and it's on the record, your testimony. Thank you.
I'm glad you have my written testimony. Regretfully, I have to deviate from it to respond to the comment that came from the dais this evening about that we are here to tear things apart. We are not here to tear things apart. That is a poor representation of the reason why residents are here. Residents are here to provide calm, passionate, thoughtful manner feedback on development and growth in our town. And it serves nobody any good to start off with relationships to tear things apart. That is not a representation of our business being here. Now I'll get to my comments, and I'm glad you have it in writing since I'll be clearly past 3 minutes. What is the rule number one of business? Rule number one of business is to listen to your legal counsel because they are clear-headed, they know more than you do, and their perspective should guide you to do the right thing. I carefully read the publicly released memo dated October 3rd from Tom Baird, your town attorney, and an AICP member. He eloquently highlights dozens of concerns about the project proposal. Mr. Baird specifies themes of a general lack of effective communication, stalling the process, disregard for legal and cultural elements of public use and access, unsubstantiated waiver requests, and project resubmittals that amount effectively to no willingness to update the comprehensive agreement in any meaningful extent. Certainly you are aware of all of these benchmarks. 5 resubmittals of site plans that have not changed other than splitting one site plan into 2. La-di-da. There is virtually no consideration to provide accessible, usable open space for the public, be it the parks, the promenade, the event lawn, the elevated deck, which now I hear we have to climb stairs to get to, water views, boat launches, and boat trailer parking. Third, failure to plan in advance for a lift station or any buffering accommodations. That's construction 101. How do you not plan for that? Fourth, a lack of definition that would require amendments to both the comprehensive plan and the LDRs. And forest planners do not comply with State Statute 78-83, sub J, sub I, E. But there's more. The developer requests 14 waivers for a small 2.5-acre site. They are mostly, quote, all significant departures from town code and LDRs, and, quote, it is not clear what public benefits the developer is proposing for each waiver. Further, quote, the design does not comply with current code regulations and cannot be approved as a waiver. And G, that there's only a checklist of 14 serious, complex elements that must be overcome. Really? And you'll have the rest of my comments.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Katia Zeskova. And for the record, I did share with the rest of the council your written comments.
Hello, Katia Zeskova, and I prepared testament for you. I changed that after speaking with Richard. He explained to me several things before the meeting. So I just wanted to, we saw beautiful, shiny pictures that are supposed to impress us all. And that's all beautiful and well done professionally. The pictures look really good. But we know about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is we are about to sell our marina for incredibly low amount of money. And I know that a lot of reasons are against that. And I think we all have an understanding that the deal has to be fair. And I'm extremely happy to hear that you are getting a person who is going to evaluate what's the fair price for the marina. And I would suggest to hire professional planners to formulate what does the town want to get from the marina. So before you guys are doing the community center, you are collecting all the information from the residents, what they want to see, what is going on, what the residents are expecting from it. With this project, it would be nice if we had professional planners like we had for Kimley Horn, who would come and who would formulate what exactly we are all looking for in the marina. Because we are at the point that right now we're looking at the plan that favors forest development. And they might be wonderful people. I don't know them personally. I give them the benefit of the doubt. But when we are looking at what was in your agenda packet and we read about all these 14 waivers and all these plans that they have, there is no really place for the residents. So if it was all private property, I would say yes, that looks very good, but it's a public marina. So I think it would be wonderful if you could get an expert opinion, not only to evaluate what the market price would be, fair market price for the marina, but how would we plan it if, and what do we present to forest development, what kind of requirements we want. And if forest development doesn't agree with those requirements and they decide to abandon the project, we would be able to present the same requirements to anybody who would want to take over. So I think we're a small town, we need to hire expertise to be able to negotiate this magnitude of the project. So I'm done. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Connie Chabot. And I apologize if I mispronounce your name.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Richard. And thank you to the staff of the town of Lake Park. Many of you are great friends of Nature's Way Cafe, and we appreciate you. We love this town, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak. My name is Connie Chabot, and my husband and I are proud owners of Nature's Way Cafe in Lake Park. Our cafe has been in its Lake Park location since 2015, when there was no Nautilus or any other development in sight. My husband and I invested in this town as Northerners, looking for a lifestyle change and betting that one day Lake Park would get to this point of development and beyond. My husband, who has great vision, ambition, and optimism, introduced me to Lake Park, and together we decided to do something we had never done before, become restaurant owners, and do so in an area of Palm Beach County that was not well spoken of by many at the time. Me, as a Canadian who didn't know the difference between Lake Park and Palm Beach, felt like I was in paradise found, and my husband said, "Babe, this place is only going to get better too, mark my words." We were so excited when the word on the street was that there was a big development coming to Lake Park. When construction started, and we have been in absolute awe and very proud to see this tower go up, meet and serve the developers and contractors and future owners who are all a part of this great project. There's a lot of wonderful people moving into the neighborhood too, this much we know, and that's good for Lake Park. My husband and I have been left scratching our head as to the halt in development, especially given the following. The town entered into a legally binding agreement in August of 2023 with Forest Development. And why? Because the marina was consistently showing financial losses, and it was a debt to the town. Hard to understand how that can be in this beautiful area of Florida, but that was the state of affairs. A sane business decision would have the town enter into a private-public partnership as a result, which would provide capital to the town to turn the marina around and have it be a revenue generator. The plans are quite spectacular: a hotel, a dry boat storage, awesome resorts, and expanded marina, an absolute dreamy place. While I bear no judgment on what people's opinions of the tower are, it's going to be an incredible revenue generator by way of municipal taxes. So that's one. There's a contract in place for an absolutely incredible marina. Secondly, it's my understanding that the marina itself and all of the land, with all of its major improvements, will forever remain in full ownership of the town, and the town will rent the marina to the developer. It is to remain a public marina owned by the town of Lake Park, open to all the public services and all. Sounds like a win-win-win. Furthermore, it is my understanding that a most recent budget exercise sees the town budgeting nearly $500,000 on anticipated legal fees. Now, while I don't know if that's simple routine cost to process administrative documents and such, I question if that is to fund disputing a contract that is already in place. And if that's the case, that would be unfortunate for the residents of Lake Park.
Thank you. Pat Welsh.
Thank you all for your time here this evening. I'm Connie's husband. Gentlemen, some of you can probably relate with me. You know, when you marry up, you let your wife go first. So I'm going to try to do the best I can here tonight. It's unfortunate she was not allowed to finish, and I apologize for only having 3 minutes. But years ago, you know, and I met my wife, you know, we got married later on in life as mature adults, and I would tell anyone to do it that way. It's my first marriage, and when we came down to Lake Park and saw Nature's Way for the first time, I said to her, I said, Connie, you know, for a lot of years, this area, it's not really looked very, very well upon, but this place is an absolute gem. And we drove around, and we looked at the water frontage, we looked at the town, and we were so grateful to be here. And then we got our restaurant, and we've worked really, really hard and tried to do right by everyone that comes through our door. And then we heard about Nautilus and the plans for the beautification of this incredible town in which we all live. And I'm going to just go ahead and read here because I think I can get through it a lot quicker. But we're all here because we want to see Lake Park shine. Our town is starting to shine in part because developers saw tremendous value, gambled big time, and has brought to fruition Nautilus 220. And all while just about everyone said, no one will make it there. In that location, in that town, specifically in that area, it's a dump. That area will never change. They will never be able to clean up the mess up there. All these statements we've all heard over and over again. We hear in our restaurants. It's the naysayers that come in. And we heard it 2 weeks ago sitting at a table in Palm Beach. They'll never make it there in that town. That project will never make it. Connie and I bet on this town, invested in Nature's Way Cafe, and we said to ourselves, it's only a matter of time that others will see here our town is absolutely beautiful. It's a hidden gem that just needs to be shined up a little bit. We were at Juno Beach coming off the beach a few years ago. Mom was pushing her daughter. She noticed my shirt. She said, oh, Nature's Way Cafe, Jupiter, I love that place. Is that yours? We said, well, kinda. We actually are down in Lake Park. She said, oh, no. I would never go down there. That was in 2020, just another naysayer saying this about our town. Before any knowledge of future growth at Lake Park, we were excited about potential to thrive amongst all the new exciting projects, forward move with development, redevelopment growth. Then we heard about Nautilus, the vision this developer had for the town of Lake Park when no one could see the potential or were willing to bet on and invest hundreds of millions of dollars into our beautiful town. Back before any groundbreaking, Nature's Way Cafe would receive catering orders from a group down where Nautilus now stands. I remember going up there for the first time in 2020. Inside their condo turned into an office and delivering their lunch and seeing all their plans. Nautilus 220.
Thank you, Mr. Welsh.
To the marina. The new hotel.
Thank you, Mr. Welsh. Mr. Steele.
Good evening, Commissioners. Chris Steele, 301 Lakeshore. You all know where I stand on this. I don't know anybody that would disagree. This is a terrible deal. Should have never happened. I just don't know where to start with why it's a bad deal. Because there are so many reasons. But the most important thing is this developer should have never been chosen for this project. We know that. They've never done a marina before. And I love the pictures too. It looks great. I'm happy to hear they're attending meetings. I'm happy to hear they're making promises. They've never had a problem making promises. It's following through on the commitments. So I would just say I hope, and I want to believe that you all are listening and paying attention, because I get it that this is not going to be an easy out. I wish we could roll the clock back and hired Richard Reed 3 years ago. We wouldn't be in this position. But we're in this position. And you guys are in a difficult one, and I can appreciate that because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you try and take this thing on and recognize this is not the developer for the project, you're going to deal with litigation. But I will tell you right now, you move forward, especially after the town attorney's letter, which I would encourage everybody to read that. You move forward, anybody that votes that Forest Development should be the developer of this marina with this deal after reading the town attorney's letter, that raises serious questions. You've seen deadline after deadline missed, commitment after commitment missed. You now have years of experience with this developer. Let them finish their motel. Let them finish Oculina. Start them, I should say. We need to turn the marina over to somebody else. Please, please, do not fall for this. We've been through this enough. You have enough experience with this developer. Please pay attention to this.
Thank you. Carrie Jones.
Good evening. My name's Kerry Jones. I own a business here local on US 1 called Deviate Motorsports. I've been in the town of Lake Park for 18 years, so I've seen massive changes here. Nothing like I've seen in the last couple of years, and I'm excited about it. I have clientele from all over Palm Beach County, and I have clients that have bought units in Nautilus. Everybody's excited about it. I'm excited about it. I hope it goes through. I know there's issues with everything, and deadlines always get missed frequently. I deal with deadlines myself. I build vehicles for individuals, dealerships. It's hard sometimes. You get stuck in binds. You can't meet deadlines. It's just part of doing business. I hope everything can be resolved with Forest Group. I think they can handle the job if everybody's on the same page. And I hope to see other developments that they have plans for down on Park Avenue to go through and get built. I'm excited for what's coming on the corner of North Lake and US 1. I think this is going to help make Lake Park that better of a town, to draw more money here, more jobs here, more people here, and I just do my part to keep the excitement going, and I hope everything can just be finalized and figure out, because I'm excited about Nautilus. I'm excited about the marina redevelopment, and everything it's going to bring into the town. I'm not going to get into any legal stuff. There's always issues with that. I think the indoor boat storage is a huge plus. The hotel is amazing. The restaurants. I'm a boater. I don't keep a boat in a marina. I keep a boat north. I think with the marinas redone, I would definitely have a boat in the marina and not keep it north of Lake Park. I do agree it needs to be kept public and not private, but I don't think that's their plans for it. I think the money can be resolved. If the town needs more money, I'm pretty sure that the group's willing to pay more money to get this resolved. I just look forward to the continued construction, the jobs, and the development of our town. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew Kaplan.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. My name is Andrew Kaplan. I am the on-site director of operations for the soon-to-open Lake Park restaurants, Seahawk Prime by David Burke, and the second restaurant in Nautilus 220 called the Birdie Dockside Bar and Grill. David Burke's company has invested over $5 million in the town of Lake Park through these restaurants. David himself has even bought a condo in the Nautilus 220. We have known about the marina redevelopment plan for a while now, with the hotel, a boat storage, another restaurant, and expanded marina since the agreement between the town and Forest Development was signed back in August of 2023. David Burke's restaurants are a supporter of the marina redevelopment and a developer the town has an agreement with. We are confused why this partnership and project has slowed down. We are big-time supporters of it. We feel it will be amazing for the town of Lake Park, and we are here to support it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Diane Sofinos.
Good evening to each of you tonight. Diane Safinas, 338 Bayberry Drive. I'm here as a proxy for Mrs. Kelly Steele, who lives at 301 Lakeshore Drive. She's not able to be here this evening due to the change of the commission dates for the holiday for the month of October, and she has asked me to come before you tonight and present this speech to you. Good evening, Commissioners and Mr. Town Manager and Town Attorney. First, thank you for your participation and support in Saturday's Lake Park Community Cleanup. A big shout out to Reuniti, Merrill, Lamar, and our Public Works crew. Your teamwork made it happen. We had just over 50 volunteers, including many more young people this year, middle and high school students earning their community service hours, and even several who came from outside the town limits just to help. Everyone worked hard, picking up garbage all over town, filling bags, and showing real pride in our community. As a special thank you to our sponsors, Oceana Coffee and Chick-fil-A, for fueling our volunteers with caffeine, kindness, and chicken sandwiches. Thank you also to the commissioners who arrived early to help with registration and kick off the morning. That leadership means a lot to those of us who care deeply about this community. Now, shifting gears, I need to share serious concerns about the Nautilus 220 project and the lift station at our marina. I've had firsthand conversations, not hearsay, with two people directly involved in the project. One told me the lift station had been dry for a couple of days. 2 days later, another said it was wet again. That is not reassuring. Those are problems, and more problems. Many of us worry this phase is being rushed to secure a certificate of occupancy, instead of ensuring the system is built and tested for the long term. If that lift station fails after occupancy, we're talking about a 323-unit building facing flooding, contamination, and potentially millions of dollars of repair cost. So who's responsible? After forest development is long gone, will it fall on the condo residents and their HOA? Will the town be liable? We need clear, black and white answers now, not later. It's also worth noting that forest development under Peter Batarian has never built a high-rise condo, marina, hotel, or boat storage facility. So why are we considering giving him a 99-year lease on our most valuable waterfront land? And shame on former town manager John D. Agostino for leading the previous commission down this path. I know firsthand that a representative from one of the largest and most successful marina development companies in the country had lunch with Mr. D. Agostino and was told that when Lake Park was ready to go out for bid on the marina, he would hear from him. Well, he never did. Thank you.
Thank you. Evelyn Clark.
Good evening, Commission. I just want to get clarity from the developer regarding residents' access to the marina. Currently, it's unlimited. I moved here because I was able to have unlimited access to the marina, and I would like clarity moving forward what that's going to look like for us in the future. And I would also like to see, as a resident, the revenue generators. Once those numbers are put together, I think we should be privileged to all of that information to see what kind of revenue is coming our way. Any growth, tax revenue municipality is not opposed to good growth. Growth should not be at the expense of mortgaging our real estate assets away, not at the detriment of leaving those residents coming behind us with the burden of having waterfront limited access and enjoyment. And also, too, not having sufficient revenues, I guess it's coming from the boat slips, reoccurring revenues from the developers to pay for our infrastructure and other needs. I'm not going to be redundant in what my fellow residents' voices have already articulated. I simply want to know what will be the strategy and cost to retain our marina and save our waterfront. Lastly, I'm hoping that there is a viable, positive agreement, partnership between Lake Park and Forest Development. I hope that it's reached, and if not, we should probably rename our town, the town of Lake Park, to the town of Forestville, Florida, if we don't get a good, viable partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. Zachariah Cesani.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and everyone here tonight. My name is Zachariah Sassani, and I'm the owner of the Avalux Gym here in Lake Park. My family and I have built our business here because we believe in the direction the town is heading, a direction that reflects growth, opportunity, and long-term prosperity for everyone who calls Lake Park home. Over the past year, I have attended several workshops and meetings, and it's clear there are strong feelings on both sides of the discussion around the marina redevelopment. I understand the concerns from residents who want to protect the heart and character of this town. That's something I deeply respect. But I also believe the progress and preservation can coexist. The marina project represents more than construction. It's about revitalizing our economy, creating jobs, attracting tourism, and supporting small businesses like mine that depend on thriving local community. The agreement between the town and the developer was designed to strengthen Lake Park's future, not take anything away from it. And from what I've seen, the developer has remained committed to that vision. I want to commend the mayor and commissioner and commission for the work you've done and continue to move Lake Park forward. It's not easy to balance vision and opposition, but I hope we can continue pushing towards growth and benefits the entire community now for all generations to come. And on a personal note, I am praying for the mayor and for everyone leading these decisions, that wisdom and unity guide the path forward. And no matter what direction Lake Park ultimately decides to take, just know the Avalux Gym stands in full support of our town and leadership. We trust our mayor has the best community interest at heart, and we're proud to be a part of that vision. Thank you for your time and leadership. God bless.
Thank you. Oscar Caballon, and I apologize if, again, close, Caballero.
Good evening. My name is Oscar Caballero, and I am with Equinox Realty. We are a small family-owned business in the city of Lake Park. We moved from the state of Indiana back in 2015. We are right at the corner, close to Oceana Coffee, the corner of 10th Street and Northern Drive, Northern Drive and 10th Street. I'm here to voice my full and unconditional support for the redevelopment of the marina of Lake Park. Back when, 2015, walking downtown by, Jess's store, the vintage goods, walking today and seeing that the town still looks the same, okay? It's concerning, and I believe that this opportunity of the marina will afford much needed growth, just like Nautilus 220 and other projects that are in the pipeline. I believe the key word here is partnership. Whoever mentioned that this is a sale, it is not. We all know it's a lease, okay? The town of Lake Park will continue to own the land on which the marina will sit, okay? And the benefits are obviously, highly advantageous for the city of Lake Park. I believe it's a win-win, okay, for us all. It obviously will create many jobs, and as someone who has been here for a long time, I just would love to see this be the impetus and the fire that will bring forward more development, more projects, and just where we all want the city of Lake Park to be someday. So, thank you.
Thank you. Amy Angelo.
Good evening, commissioners, and good evening, town, everybody.
I would just like to say that I am in support of this project. I am in support of development and growth and things improving for Lake Park. I have had the experience, I can't say pleasure, of developing something is hard, right? Took us 5 years to build our building. I can say that it has been worth it. You know, we have a beautiful new building in Lake Park. I'm Amy Angelo from Oceana Coffee. I forgot to say that. Owner and founder of Oceana Coffee. Also an owner and founder of Florida Canning Company and Culinary Studio, which is also located in that same building. So I can say in the short time that we've been open and had our CO, we've been open, you know, since June, we have about 50 new people coming to Lake Park every day to work. There's about 12 new businesses coming to Lake Park, in Lake Park. So I'm absolutely for development. It has to be thoughtful development, of course. There is a balance, but I would really encourage quick conversations and quick, you know, activity and really progress moving forward. When these things get strung out and delayed for so long, it discourages other development. So I would hate to see that. I think we're on a great roll with Lake Park. I think what is coming is great, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. So I think the future is bright for us. So thank you for everything that you do, and let's get boating. Let's keep going. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's all the public comment cards I have. I know Commissioner Thomas, you had wanted to delay your questions for after public comment, and we have arrived. I will leave the floor to you.
Good afternoon. It really isn't a lot of questions, as more or less a statement. And I'll go back to 2021. And I believe back in 2021, this project came before the Planning and Zoning Board for review. And prior to that, I remember meeting with the developer before it came before the Planning and Zoning Board. And what I mean by that, I'll start with the Nautilus project, because that is the first project that came before the Planning and Zoning back in 2021, if my mind serves me correctly. And I remember meeting Mr. Patarian and members of his professional staff and looking at some of the concerns that the Planning and Zoning Board would have prior to bringing it before the Planning and Zoning Board. And along with myself on that board was another planner and a builder and a property owners, as all we were, and a business owner, all looking for what can we do for our town. It was one of the biggest projects that have been in our town since 2008, I believe, when we bonded for the marina back in that time. And I believe since then, we had 4 revisions, I think, that had to be done to the marina. One within a year after the marina was reconstructed, because there were some issues with the sinking of the pavers up there at that time. What am I saying? This was a big feat for all of us. One, having such a large project sitting, as most people would say to me, right in the middle of US 1. But they had no idea prior to that what the town was actually facing as far as its financials and what we are currently facing right now. What I'm going to say to Nautilus, and this is very, very true, and that is actions typically speaks louder than words. And what the action here is that, myself included, I want the residents to move into Nautilus. It doesn't matter to me that you're the first that's doing this project, because all of us had to be the first at something. And this was the first project that you ventured on, and I am so proud of you that you ventured on this project of Nautilus 220. The concern now lies with, when is this project going to be finished? Because it doesn't look good as far as the credibility of everything else when we have projects that are just being held up like this. I want concrete answers, but not even concrete answers. I want to see the residents in that project. That's what I want to see. Yes, I cannot control Mother Nature. I have yelled and screamed to myself. I have looked several times at my town manager, asking him the question, why wasn't the lift station put in? And then I had to come back and I had to look at myself, and the idea was that there was a lift station that was planned for that site. And maybe the clarity which is being lost here is, and it's up to Nautilus to make this known, and I think that it's important for us to be open and very authentic with where we're going, to be very transparent. Maybe it was a situation that after they looked at the project of understanding there's going to be a marina, a hotel, and you have that Nautilus, so therefore the lift station that was initially planned for it would not have capacity. So therefore we looked at doing it bigger, and then with doing it bigger, it wouldn't just cover Nautilus's project, but it would cover all of those homes and properties that sit at the south end of our town. And if that is it, let that be the word, let that be known. Now we have other agencies that are involved here that are saying, here, the water table was high, so the concrete couldn't cure. We had several weeks of storms that came up, and look at where we are. I've driven through West Palm Beach on Flagler within the last week, and they have had king tide. The whole area in there is flooded. Are we any exception? No. We all know, who have lived here for a very long time, that Lakeshore Drive have been flooding for years, for years, for years. It's just up in the last 3 years that we haven't had much flooding. Where am I going with this? Not only do I want to see residents in here, but I think I'd like to see, I think it's Terrence, who's one of the property owners that I've been seeing for the last 5 meetings. I want him to enjoy his condo. In fact, I promoted it when I was running for office the first time, and I defended Nautilus 220 for the project. Seeing is believing. We are now in October. Forget about it. We're in November. And what pains me is that if this project doesn't get on the tax roll by December the 31st, then it's not coming on the tax roll until 2028. Okay? That's painful to me. I know it's painful to you too, Mr. Batarian, because I cannot imagine how much money you might be losing. So I want you to stop the bleed, just like I want to stop the bleed too. But it has to be that we need, and I say it very loud and clear, we need a win. You need a win, we need a win. What is that win? Get Nautilus up and going. Because when you have a big project like that and someone can see the success in that project, it gives a lot of credibility to it. There are many of you tonight that I myself have spoken to directly, even property owners, even business owners, and I said, look what's coming up here. I'm just as proud as you are because I've been living here for X amount of years, and I love this community. Nautilus, Forest Development, I believe in you. I believe in you. I will say it from here. I believe in you. I do not believe in throwing out the baby with the bathwater. No developer is going to come here and want to work over someone else's work. So they want you to finish it. And I want you to finish it. I want you to be successful. I want all of those 9 projects that you are showcasing to be successful. But this right here is your Anchorage project. This right here. And not only is it hurting me, but it's hurting, when I say me, I mean to hear every day from the residents. And I'm like trying to say, yes, this is true. This is what is promised for us. But you have to get something done, because if you don't get this done, then no one believes anything else. Why? Because action speaks louder than words. I don't know what is necessary. I could only read the reports that are coming from the Seacoast Utilities Authority that's saying, here, these are the things that cannot get right. When someone said to me, the developer said not to put the lift station, and I said, that cannot be true. Then that would mean that every engineer, every civil engineer who knows that they need to put infrastructure in place first, their license needs to be what? Revoked. Because it wasn't one engineer, not two engineer, not three engineer, not four engineer. You had to have at least two engineer on all four parties. So I'm not here to point the finger, because when you point the finger, the thumb comes back. I am very proud of what I approved. I am very proud of what I approved when it came down to Nautilus. What I am not happy with right now is where we stand. What I am not happy right now is also with the comprehensive agreement, and this is something, too, that I've said to you. So this isn't anything that I have not said. I'm saying it on the record. I want it to be fair. If this is a 3P, which means it's a public-private, someone says don't say partnership, it is something. The condos that were on Lakeshore Drive back in the 70s when they were built, or back in the 60s, they're old. But that was the biggest project that we had during that time. We are 103 years old. 103 years old. That project for Nautilus could not have gone anywhere else except for where it's at. So I urge you to please get that done. Give us, give yourself, give the community a win. I've gone to Tallahassee and heard in Tallahassee individuals who are buying in that condo. I'm just letting you know that and letting the public know. And that means that the town of Lake Park is on the map. They're interested in it. But we need a win. Our community needs a win. And whatever it requires, I ask that we get that done. Because from there on out, no one can trust us. No matter how much faith I have in you, no one will believe. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for that. Normally I would want to make a comment, but I think all the comments have been said. I hear the public, and I know exactly what you want. But I'm going to go unconventional this time, because I want Mr. Batarian up here. I want to hear from him. Are you still here, Mr. Batarian? Can you please come up here? Because I'd like to hear what you have to say to us here on the dais and to the public that's sitting here beside you, because obviously this is a hot topic.
Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. I want to say to you that I am very thankful to have been allowed permission to build the Nautilus project. I'm sorry that it's late. We're trying very, very hard to get the residents in, and we're very, very close. Please be patient with us. It will happen before the end of the year. We have a lot of residents who are very, very excited to become new members of the community. And we're just grateful to be part of the community. We hope to continue to participate with other projects with you guys. And love to show it to you any day that you guys are available to see the project. Additionally, on the marina and the P3, I think that we share the same vision. I want to continue to see the town grow. I want to see us do good things together. This is something that will always remain public. We encourage everyone to use it. That access on the roof has stairs, has elevator, has connectivity from the hotel, And it's always going to be public. It's always going to be available to the residents. The restaurants are all available. The marina is available. The boat storage is available. So a lot of good things to come. Yes, there are waivers, but I think they're all achievable when you take into consideration all the benefit, all the job creation, all the good things to come. With the Nautilus project, time will tell. The next 30 days are going to be great.
Okay. Any questions?
Don't go anywhere, Peter.
Any questions for Mr. Patarian?
Yes, I do. Peter,
Yes.
I read in my notes today that there are 3 different areas with that lift station having problems. Are you aware of it?
Yes.
What are we doing?
They are being worked on now. I was only made aware of them earlier today, and I'm told they're punch list items, and the team is aware of it. We'll have a meeting on it tomorrow. They are, I understand, all sort of fixable, and we'll have an answer for you early next week.
Because the hurricane, I'm trying to pray to keep the hurricane away from here, because if a storm comes, we're done again, okay? And I mean, in all seriousness here, right? Because that whole area, I've seen it, you've seen it. It's been a mess, right?
Yes.
We know it has.
Yes.
It doesn't look good for you, even for your residents that's moving in there, which was a concern too that I mentioned there with our town manager. Doesn't look good. But I'm telling you, I see these, and based on the comments that came through, they said another 30 days. Another 30 days is November 21st. I'm just saying, another 30 days is November 21st, and I will tell you what would happen after November 21st. Everybody goes to sleep because it's a holiday. Thanksgiving comes in, then 2 weeks later, there's Christmas, then we're all the way back into January. You understand where I'm coming from with this,
I
right?
do.
Right?
Yes.
And I was promised that we were going to have a grand opening and people were going to be able to go in and they were going to be able to flush the toilets,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
And I don't mean like flushing in the intercoastal. I mean like flushing, it's going and it's supposed to be where it is.
Yes,
Do you hear me?
I do.
And it's on the record, Peter.
It is. So just so you know, the lift station is in, it's backfilled, and what is happening now is internal, and it's fixable. And I will work with my team tomorrow. We'll figure out how it'll be resolved.
In fact, Peter, when it goes, I'm going to ask you, put a red ribbon and let's just cut it.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
that means it's done.
Correct.
I will come to the ribbon cutting on that one. Okay, the cutting of the lift station, so it can flow.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Understandably so, the lift station is not just for the singular project.
True.
It's for the entire region area of where that project is located.
Yes, I think there are,
That, I'm clarifying that for the record so that way everybody understands that a lift station doesn't necessarily deal with just a singular project. It deals with the entire region area of that area it's located in.
that's correct. I think there are at least 80 homes as well in the area that it's covering.
Okay. So I'm not going to get into deep questions, but I'm going to get into one question. This question for me is really big, and it's really important because it deals with my office where I work, my daily job.
Okay?
And that's December 31st. December 31st is the final day that you can get a CO and it be going on the tax roll in the upcoming tax roll cycle, which the upcoming tax roll cycle is the 2026 tax roll. Right now, 2025, our budget says no Nautilus not here because it hasn't complete, substantially complete, which is what my office tends to say in correlation with a building that's completely done and it's been CO'd. You say a month's time, but for me, that month's time is one thing, but December 31st is a whole different thing for this town. You know what it means for this town? It means revenue coming here, revenue that we can get. And right now, for 25, 26, that's set. We're dealing with it as we deal with it, and luckily we have the right staff that has made it work for us to be able to move forward for the interim. However, if this does not get completed by December 31st, what does that mean for us? And when I say us, I'm not talking us here, I'm talking us here. which means we have to wait again, not for 25, 26, not even for 26, 27, but 27, 28. You have to understand that in our perspective. Yes, you're building that project, and I support that project as well, but I also support my town. And I've said that repeatedly. I support my town first. And what I need is this project to be done because this affects everyone, not just you in this perspective. It does in your perspective because you're the one building it, and I appreciate you for doing that. I wholeheartedly support that from the first day I got on council. But we also know now we're at the 11th hour here where it's like, what's happening? Because December 31st is coming, and it's coming very quickly, and Santa Claus. And I'm asking Santa Claus, no pun intended, I'm asking Santa Claus to have December 31st made as CO date, Certificate of Occupancy for Nautilus 220. Because what does that mean? That means something big for everyone. Because another point that was made, there's a lot of talking going on up there in the state about property taxes. Do you realize property taxes right now, if that goes away, how that affects? And I need you guys to listen to that. Because what that means is no services. Again, and our highest budget item is the police, is security, is public safety. No property taxes, no Nautilus, but a lot of problems. Also, in terms of those on my dais that are educators, and I'm going to even include this gentleman right here because he carries two strings. As an attorney and as an educator, no money going to schools either. The fight is not just here, people. The bigger fight is up there because it still affects us right here. So I understand what you guys are saying about Nautilus 220, the public marina. But understand, there's a bigger picture reflective here than just Nautilus 220 and the marina. All that could go away and poof, one decision made in the state. So I urge you, those that want to be advocates out there, to go into the state play too and make your voices heard there just as much as you want to make your voices heard here. Because we need all hands on deck. And I think I've told some of you that before. Specifically, our Army is needed. But it needs not only needed here, it's needed there. But what I need you to do, if you're going to deliver and you're going to give a win for yourself and for us, think of December 31st.
We are, every day.
Because that would be a wonderful number to see coming into it and with a certificate of occupancy. That is what I'm asking Santa Claus this year. Because my wife won't let me get me a car or a new truck or anything like that. She's already told me that. She's ruined my days already. But a certificate of occupancy from Nautilus 220, win-win for everybody. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. We're going to get there.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This. This is not the time right now to have this kind of conversation openly. No. I'm not going to deal with this. This is a town meeting. If you like to talk about it, we can talk about it afterwards, or you can come in.
Excuse me.
Please.
Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, as a point of order, the developer was called in response to a agenda item.
Okay, then I will ask for a consensus respectfully because
She asked to give questions afterwards, and that's how he was brought up. So
okay.
I'm just arguing. I don't think there needs consensus. I was just pointing that out,
Okay.
that was because of an agenda item. So
Absolutely.
It was not a 3-minute thing.
No, it was not, and that was something I, in turn.
And just in addition, if people have questions, again, last meeting we were at, we
had the
said,
discussion.
please talk to the town
Absolutely.
manager, and he'll address those issues.
I 100% agree with that with you, Commissioner. And I also know there were several people that were here for that as well. They understand that. This is a tight subject right now, and I understand it. But we all got to walk this line together. There's no such thing as division because it never works. I'm just saying. So there is no actual motion for this. This was just a presentation, and I think we will leave it at that. I'm going to open the floor to town attorney comments. Town attorney.
Your November 5th meeting, excuse me, I'm out of town, and Brett's going to attend for me.
What date is that again?
Your next meeting, November 5th.
Okay.
3rd, whatever it is. Your next meeting. So I want to clarify something about this memo attributed to me that's been floating around and spoken to tonight. The memo that you received in your agenda packet was prepared by myself and my partner, Peter Henn. The memo was prepared based on the community development staff's comments to the 5th submittal on the PUD for the marina and the site plans. It wasn't something that we made up. It was based on their comments and their frustration with the failure to address their comments in the 4 previous submittals. So please don't give credit to me for that memo, because it was 2 other planners and then myself and my partner, who's also a planner, who's also a developer, who developed the Bahia Mar Marina. He knows a little bit about developing marinas. And he's also a professor of urban and regional planning. So this is not some kind of fantasy fest that we cooked up for Halloween. We met individually. First, Peter met with Anders and Karen Galanka, went over that site plan, talked with them about their concerns. Later, I met first with them, same thing. Our goal was to bolster and support the community development staff because they weren't getting answers to their questions. Nothing more than that. We'll see what happens with the next response to it, because there's serious issues with respect to what's being proposed there.
Thank you. Town manager. Have the mic, please.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick things. During our meetings in December, we're going to talk about an award that the town and the CRA received last week, and it was an FRA award, and Amy's gone, but it was really a great moment for our town in recognizing, a new business that was, and the efforts of the CRA in our community in bringing in that business. And so we were selected amongst a whole number of folks throughout our state for that award. And it's pretty cool that it happened here and for us in our community. So that presentation will be made by Ms. Justice in December. Also, wanted to talk to you all real quickly about a donation that's being proposed to the town by Lowe's. Our library has had some conversations with Lowe's, and in partnership with the Read for the Record program that's upcoming, which, again, the book is geared towards, growth of plants and where food comes from. They're offering to work with us on some planning items and different things so that we can provide some learning opportunities for our kids in our community. So what we'd like to do, the donation is approximately $1,500, and we just wanted direction from you all that we're good to go with that donation. We're still working on the types of items and where these items will go, and they're working with Jamie. Mr. Morales has the plan to bring whatever we do to our tree board so that they're involved. And so we were just hoping that you guys could give us, the thumbs up to proceed forward with that donation. Approximately $1,500 in supplies, planting and gardening type supplies.
They're going to give it to us?
They're going to give that to us, and we're going to speak to them, hopefully to bring in Florida friendly type materials, things that we work with our maintenance. So that'll all be stuff, but we'll work with
He's right there.
with them on that. But
No. I was like thinking that's from Lowe's, right?
from Lowe's,
They're going to give us like, what is that, like gardening stuff?
plants and gardening stuff.
I'm looking for the Lake Park plant and garden people. They were supposed to be here.
Yeah, gone now. I saw a couple.
They just lost $1,500. Where are they? The Lake Park Plant and Garden Club. Where are they? The Lake Park Plant and Garden Club. They're not around. You see?
So,
Okay.
if you guys give us a thumbs up, we'll be good.
To accept the donation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh,
You
That
got
was four
four
thumbs
quick
up,
ones
baby.
right there.
I would say the first nice place that they can like start is that little garden area outside of the library.
We're looking at
That's a really nice place that we could start doing some painting and
we're looking at
That's already been discussed.
types of materials and planting resources that'll attract possibly butterflies and things like that as well. So,
maybe even ladybugs.
and ladybugs. I saw one flying today when I was walking. So thank you for that. Also, just as a reminder to the Community Sunset Celebration and Fall Festival is Friday, October 31st. Of course, it's Halloween. It's from 6 to 9 in Kelsey Park. As always, live entertainment, variety of food, arts and crafts, trick-or-treating in the park, and I believe the Vice Mayor is participating in the Halloween costume fashion show. I guess
Can't wait.
And then again, just for the community's efforts, we have, a number of our folks, all of you all are always supportive of our legislative efforts. A number of us had the opportunity to go up to Orlando on Friday and participate. And the number one item that's coming out, of course, is property taxes.
Yep.
And not only is property taxes going to affect the residential community, but it's going to affect the business community. Because, and there are a number of bills out there already. We're hearing bills for, over a certain age, exempt.
Right.
We're hearing over a certain, number of valuation.
There's 8 proposals, basically.
There's a number of them. There's, Save Our Homes can only increase by 3%. That's being proposed to be lowered to 1%. All these things do affect our services. Police, fire is a separate issue because it's taxed separately, but it affects our ability to pay our bills. It affects our ability to offer the events that we offer. To provide the information to our community that we provide, to mow our lawns, our grass, different things like that. So it's a huge, huge issue. And if the property taxes on the residential side goes away, then the likelihood is that the business community, which already supports a significant cost, not only in our community, but in every community, there's probably going to be a higher threshold there. Probably user fees will have to be looked at, privatizing different services. So there are a number of the growth of our downtown that so there's a lot of areas that, and for me, just like we heard from the League of Cities when Casey Cook, who's the lead legislative person for the league, he started off, and I know Commissioner Linden watched, as well, and I'm sure a number of y'all have, And if the community hasn't, please go online and or contact us, and we'll share the link with you. But
So on the committee meeting,
we all would love to not pay property taxes. I would love it too, and that's what Casey basically said in the beginning. But you know, to operate a city, there's a cost to it, and it's not even just the city; it's the county. It's all of us. We're all in this. So it's going to be the number one issue. We're not hearing insurance is really, you know, the main topic. It's property taxes. There are a number of other issues that are out there, and it's going to be, you know, a lot of the same stuff. Senate Bill 180 is expected to be revised. We're hearing different things. I know Commissioner Hensley, you know, is on that committee, and that looks like that's a priority issue. And but I just encourage our community, as the mayor mentioned, please, you know, follow when we put out our legislative priorities, which hopefully that'll happen, Merrill, in a month or so. We're looking at a couple months. The session starts early. We'll be going up for legislative action days to lobby and support our town, not only for the bills and the legislative issues, but also for earmark dollars. We're looking at money for the Oval Ballot there on 10th, as well as possibly septic to sewer. Merrill and Jamie and a number of our folks, you know, putting some grant dollars with the lagoon, Lake Worth Lagoon. We're recommending that all be funded. Is that a couple million? 1 million? So there's a lot out there that we're fighting for, and we do need our community to help with that. And so we're asking for help with that and support. And I want to say thank you to you all for your continuous efforts on the legislative side. So that's what I got. So thank you.
Thank you. Any commissioner comments? I'm going to start here to my left. Everybody's right in front of me with Commissioner Linden.
Okay, well, thank you. Not a whole lot to say. I will not be at the sunset celebration, as I had said last time, unless I can get my train reservation changed, and that looks bad every day. But
One down
hopefully
for
they'll
chili
record
cook-off.
the winner of that chili contest. But we won't go into that no more, you know. But no, that's it. Nothing more to comment on. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Mayor, Commissioner O'Rourke.
I'm your ex.
You're not my ex, but you're an ex-mayor.
Everybody's ex.
Not my ex.
Anyway. I will be at the cook-off. I mean I'm sorry, it's not a cook-off. It's the sunset celebration, right? I will be there. And so now I realize that there's only 3 people I have to compete with. So that's a good thing.
Think what?
I want to be respectful. So I will be there. I also, I want to apologize to Michael. The comment I made prior to public comment was inappropriate, and I apologize for that. So this is a topic that garners a lot of emotion for people. The budget process sets a policy, and our policy right now is a policy that does not seem to promote growth right now, and as a result of that, we're going to be caught in between the state legislature, which is a place we always find ourselves. They seem to have a battle against the municipalities. I never understood it. We've had the battle on short-term rentals. We've had it on just all sorts of things. And I think it's because a lot of the representatives up in the north part of the state, they don't sit on this municipal dais. They go right into the legislature, or they go from a county government into the legislature. And it's a very different process going through the county as it is in the municipality. That's difficult because politically it puts us in a bad place because they have an attitude, and I've heard them say this, that municipalities just waste their money. And I think if they sat here and just go through our budget process once, one time they would figure it out, but it is what it is. So anyway, thank you everybody for your efforts, for going through the budget and for going through this meeting tonight. This was not an easy one. And I'm glad that people kept a level head, and I look forward to moving forward in a positive way. So thank you.
Commissioner Thomas.
Yes, a couple of things that I like to say thank you. I wanted to give credit to Kelly Steele, that's not here tonight, and her being ill, her really coordinating, and I love a person who not only speaks but also shows action. And when it comes down to the cleanup, the town cleanup, and just about anything, but anything that I have engaged her with or she has come forward with, she's a person of action. And I just really wanted to say thank you for that. I also wanted to say thank you to our Public Works employees and staff over the weekend, just being present and being there early. And the other thing I really want to like to say, because this really just shows character, and it says a lot about a person, and that is I want to give credit to our Public Works Director. The other day, I'm going to be honest, we pay this gentleman a lot of money, okay? And when I say this individual just doesn't sit in an office, but I saw this individual's in shorts on Park Avenue, on 9th, working, actually doing sidewalks with his staff, with the Public Works guys. I had to do a double take. In fact, not only did I do a double take, I did a U-turn. And to make sure too that he had his safety work, I did. But all kidding aside, I do not recall a Public Works director that has ever worked for our town that doesn't consider themselves higher than their employees, but actually goes down there. So when comments are made about how things needs to be done, I believe that person because they've actually walked in the shoes. So I just really want to say thank you. You have earned it there for me. Then I also want to make a note to our town manager talked about issues that will be coming before our state legislators soon. One of the things that has just really turned wheels here in the last 15 years, I think, here in Florida, is the clawing away of home rule. And what do I mean by that? I mean local governments not having a control even over development. Some of the issues that are coming forth would be like Senate Bill 48 that talked about accessory dwelling units. And this is something that we have been talking about in our own community, but now it's being raised at the state level where it's saying here, okay, fine, you can go ahead and have an ADU and the homeowner don't even have to live there. So in essence, they're increasing density on single-family dwelling units just by doing it and not actually understanding what the impact would be in communities like ours. Another issue, however, is also House Bill 217 and Senate Bill 208 that talks about growth management. And for all of those who like the word compatibility, well, they've thrown that out of the window and says that you can just come and you can build whatever you want. It doesn't matter how compatible it is, and that it should have no adverse impact. And no, this is not even live local. This is just a hold you issue. And also that you cannot deny anything coming close to residential development. So I'm like saying, if you really want to know what's going on, please get in contact with your state representatives here, because there's a lot that's going on at the state level that's going to impact us here at the local level, and we as residents don't have any idea about. And then finally, I'd like to say the town is having our sunset celebration and our trunk or treat for all our town residents that are here. But I also wanted to mention, too, that Oceana Coffee is having a trunk or treat as well on the west side of town. So for those who don't want to go to the east side of town to the sunset celebration, Oceana Coffee will be having a similar activity on the west side of town on October the 31st, whatever Halloween, that date for Halloween. And yes, I hope we all dress up and scare each other, because tonight was a scary night as well, without costumes.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
I just have one announcement for just not everybody on the dais and neighbors. If you guys, on November 7th, we're having a Veterans Day program at Watson B. Duncan Middle School. All elected officials and veterans are invited. If you are an elected official, would you please email me so you can be recognized at the school? But we have refreshments, and we would like for everybody to come. It's at 9:45. November 7th. You might as well take the whole day off, because we have November 7th, we have 9:45, and then Avalon at 12. So just we can all hang out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You can even, we have a school dance November 7th that night if you want to come by. So, but November 7th? Yeah, November 7th. Yeah, Friday. So, and if you have a veteran in your family that want to be recognized, you can also email me. I can put you on the list. It's a really good event. It's with Palm Beach Gardens, North Palm Beach, and I'll be happy if Lake Park can participate also.
Okay, thank you. Just to give you an update from the Palm Beach County League perspective, I'm a part of the Legislative Priority Committee. We've set our priorities to go, since the big talk tonight is about the state. We've set priorities that we feel are important, that we either support or not, or oppose. Some of those priorities, of course, number one, property tax. And we tagged on insurance along with that, because they kind of go hand in hand to some regards. Senate Bill 180, which was another topic for us, specifically in this town, was another one that we discussed. And I believe there's talk about possible amendments to Senate Bill 180 that's being discussed for this coming session. So that's something that we all need to look into together collectively. CRAs, which is another topic, which they're in at the state level. And again, I encourage all the residents, look at the state level. If it's not just here, they're looking to dissolve CRAs. We need that CRA here. If you understand CRAs correctly, they're TIF dollars that we use to redevelop to get rid of slum and blight. I'm going to repeat that. We use TIF funding towards redevelopment of areas in our CRA to get rid of slum and blight. And I will leave it at that.
And just to dovetail on that, if a CRA goes away, the property tax money doesn't go away. It just goes to the county.
Correct.
The money that we're bringing in from the CRA doesn't just stop being collected. It's going to go to the county and may never be used here in our community.
Okay. So another would be sovereign immunity, municipal elections, and one that we felt that is not necessarily statewide, but more in our county, was South Florida Regional Transportation Authority funding, which deals with Tri-Rail, because that's another big hot topic up in the state level. The funding is very, how do we say it, light when it comes to Tri-Rail, and that is a big importance. I find out a lot of kids from Boca, they use Tri-Rail to go up to Dreyfus.
Dreyfus,
Bach, all these schools, and that's very important. Again, everything in the state reflects us down here. So I'm just telling you, please make that importance. The policy committee that I was part of up in Orlando, along with my fellow councilmen, we were at finance and taxation, and again, the number one topic was property taxes. This is very important. We need everybody on that to be looking at that and to understand everything that could happen. And the biggest talk that they had in my committee was that the most impact that will be affected if property taxes are abolished is small towns. Again, small towns, 2.4 square miles of this town would be affected. So again, keep an eye out, find out what's going on with the state legislature, write a letter to your representative. We have representatives that come here to our meetings. Talk to them. They're open to discuss. Let them know. Find out what's going on. So outside of that, I'm looking forward to the sunset celebration on Halloween. When you do find your winner for that sunset celebration, I would just like my name added before that new winner is announced, because I do feel, I did. And we can do it. We'll wait till next week. But again, I want to thank the residents for coming out here in droves. It's a collaborative effect. We all share the same mind and the same goals, and that's to make this town move right. And I appreciate you again, to all the residents. I look forward to Saturday morning doing the Mayor's Munchies, where I can hear your concerns, hear from you about where we're at and where we're going. Again, you hear us all the time up here in the dais, but I'd like to hear from you. So I look forward to seeing who comes, and look forward to seeing your discussions and dialogue. So with that, that's all I pretty much have. And if there are no requests for future agenda items, I got one other thing. Tomorrow I will be, and I'm not sure who's going with me tomorrow, at the Chamber Breakfast at the Chamber, Palm Beach County Chamber Mayor's Breakfast, where each of us talk about our communities and what's going on. So I'll be looking forward to talking about us, because every year since I've been mayor, and I don't know how it was when you were mayor, when I talk about our town, everybody pays attention, because they notice that our town is doing things. We're small, but we're mighty in what we do. And I look forward to letting them know where we're at right now and where we're looking to go, and all the positive things that have happened. So with that, again, if there's not any requests for future agenda items, I will entertain a motion of adjournment.